Chapter 1248, Qian Yi. The nameless prodigy is going to challenge the 4th-ranked Tang Feng. The challenge continues. Tang Feng has already lost to Ren Xingchen and Ling Jianhe. I think he will lose to the nameless prodigy as well. Obviously, Tang Feng is definitely not a match for the nameless prodigy. However, Ren Xingchen and Ling Jianhe's strength is really surprising. They can actually defeat Tang Feng. The sun hung high in the sky. In front of the prodigy stage, a young man dressed in blood-red clothes slowly walked towards the direction of the arena. Beside him, there were more than 10 young men. Among them, Tang Yuan, who was currently ranked 7th, and Tang Ling, who was ranked 13th. They accompanied the young man dressed in blood-red clothes. The young man was Tang Feng. He was once the prodigy ranked 2nd on the prodigy roll. He was only one step away from reaching the profound void martial stage. However, at this moment, Tang Feng's expression was extremely gloomy. As he listened to the discussions of the people around him, his gaze was cold and filled with killing intent. On this day, he lost consecutively to Ren Xingchen and Ling Jianhe. Now, he faced the challenge of the nameless prodigy once again. He knew that he wasn't a match for that nameless prodigy. Although he understood everything, when he heard the discussions of the people around him, his expression was still extremely unsightly. He was a prince of the blood flow empire, a proud son of heaven who had almost reached the peak in a single step. Being defeated consecutively made him feel extremely uncomfortable. Now, a 26-year-old fellow was challenging him, and he wasn't even a match for him. This made his expression even more unsightly. Who? He lightly exhaled, his eyes flickering. This nameless son of heaven is really arrogant. There's also Ren Xingchen and Ling Jianhe. Each of them is simply disgusting. Tang Ling, who was beside him, revealed an angry expression and coldly snorted. They are also true prodigies. Tang Yuan, who was at the side, slightly furrowed his brows and could not help but say in admiration. What prodigies? When the experts of the Hanhai dynasty arrive, Ling Jianhe and Ren Xingchen might both be killed. Tang Ling curled her lips and her face was filled with disdain. Enough! In the middle, Tang Feng's eyes revealed a trace of impatience as he said coldly. When Tang Ling saw her brother's angry look, she hurriedly shut her mouth. Let's go. The group directly flew towards the peak of the Heaven's Pride stage. Let's go and take a look. I don't know if Tang Feng will fight or directly surrender. I think he should surrender, because there's no need to fight anymore. It's hard to say. After all, he's the Prince of Blood Flow Empire. How could he just admit defeat? Some people around saw Tang Feng and the rest flying over and followed closely behind. When Tang Feng and the rest arrived in front of the 4th Heaven's Pride stage, they saw 3 people already standing there. Wang Xian, who was wearing a mask and a black robe, was standing there. Ren Xingchen and Ling Jianhe were standing behind him. The 3 of them didn't say anything. When he saw Tang Feng and the rest flying over, Wang Xian turned around and looked at them. Are you going to admit defeat or accept the challenge? He spoke to Tang Feng bluntly. Pitch, don't be so arrogant. When Tang Ling heard Wang Xian's words, she shouted with a cold expression. You are not a match for them. However, Ling Jianhe, who was standing at the side, responded coldly. Tang Ling choked and glared at Ling Jianhe, her expression constantly changing. Tang Feng's expression was also not very good. With a cold expression, he directly walked into the arena. Buzz! Very quickly, Tang Feng walked out with a cold expression and flew into the distance with an expressionless face. Tang Ling and the others hurriedly followed behind. Meanwhile, those who had just flown up looked at Tang Feng, who had left in astonishment. Has he admitted defeat? He should have admitted defeat directly. Tang Feng admitted defeat directly. What's next? Does he want to continue challenging Ling Jianhe and Ren Xingchen? Everyone immediately looked forward and looked at Wang Xian, Ling Jianhe, and Renxingchen. Next, it's your turn. When Wang Xian saw Tang Feng admitting defeat directly, a smile appeared on his face as he spoke to Ling Jian and Renxingchen directly. I admit defeat, Renxingchen said without hesitation. What a joke. His golden water sword principle was given by Wang Xian and his life was saved by him. How could he not admit defeat? I admit defeat too. Ling Jian looked at Wang Xian and replied indifferently. Let's leave after I take out the spiritual liquid. Wang Xian laughed out loud and entered the fourth arena. He took out the spiritual liquid and flew toward the higher arena. Very quickly, the name of the nameless Heaven's Pride expert rose rapidly on the Heaven's Pride roll. Fourth, third, second. He had always been locked in second place. The nameless Heaven's Pride expert is challenging the first-ranked Qian Yi. Only the first-ranked Qian Yi is left. The nameless Heaven's Pride expert will ascend to the top of the Heaven's Pride roll. This will be the first 26-year-old Heaven's Pride expert in history. Oh my God! Since the establishment of the prodigy stage, the nameless prodigy is definitely the most powerful existence. Just one more step, just one more step. It took him less than 5 days to reach the second place. This is crazy. He was just short of the final battle with Qian Yi. He won this battle. After all, his name shook the entire Luhai region. When the crowd on the prodigy stage saw Wang Xian challenging the final prodigy stage, they were all excited. The final battle of the top Heaven's Pride stage. Without a doubt, the victor would be able to overlook all the younger generation in the Luhai region. He would be the king of the younger generation and would represent the strongest person in an era. This was especially so for the nameless Heaven's Pride stage. He was only 26 years old. If he could reach the peak, he would definitely become a legend. The entire Heaven's Pride stage was in an uproar. Everyone was looking forward to the final battle on the Heaven's Pride stage. Would it be the heaven-defying prodigy who reached the top without a name and created a legend? Or would it be Qian Yi who stood at the top of the rankings and looked down on all heroes? No matter which victory he won, he would definitely become the most famous prodigy in the entire Luhai region. Wang Xian ignored the craziness below. He stayed in the cultivation room on the Heaven's Pride stage and continued to comprehend the combination of the 4 attributes. At noon tomorrow, Qian Yi will meet the battle on time. In less than 2 hours, a piece of shocking news was sent over, causing the entire Heaven's Pride stage to be in an uproar. At noon tomorrow, Qian Yi will meet the challenge. It's a battle that everyone has their eyes on. Whoever wins will be the champion of the younger generation in the Flowing Sea region. This is too exciting. I guess the nameless Heaven's Pride will definitely win tomorrow. I also feel that the nameless Heaven's Pride has a higher chance of winning. 2 years ago, Qian Yi narrowly defeated Tang Feng with a few moves and obtained victory. Now that there are so many Heaven's Pride talents, Qian Yi might become the stepping stone for the nameless one. Bullshit. Our senior Qian Yi has made great progress in the past 2 years. That nameless is definitely not a match for him. Don't brag about your Divine Wind Academy. Why don't you all take a look at the strength of the nameless prodigy? Tomorrow, your senior Qian Yi will definitely receive an explosive blow. Chapter 1249, 1,000 Leaves. 1,000 Leaves Challenge caused a huge sensation. Countless people discussed the question of who would win and who would lose. Compared to 1,000 Leaves, who had stayed at the top for 2 years, most of the youths still believed that the nameless prodigy would win. Because his strength was simply too strong. Legendary prodigy. Son of a monster. The youngest prodigy in history. Each and every one of these names was generously given to him by the youths in the prodigy stage. When the students of the Divine Wind Academy saw that most of the people were supporting the nameless prodigy, their faces were filled with rage. But they had no choice. Even in the depths of their hearts, they had some doubts as to whether their senior Qian Yi was a match for the other party. The entire prodigy stage was bustling with activity. Everyone was waiting for the big battle tomorrow. The news of this big battle also spread to the area where the humans gathered in the monster graveyard. When they heard about this big battle, tens of millions of people were filled with shock. Many people were prepared to come and watch this battle of the Heaven's Pride. They wanted to see which Heaven's Pride would be able to reach the peak. Many factions were also rushing over. They wanted to try and recruit some Heaven's Pride disciples. The battle tomorrow attracted the attention of all the humans in the Ladyboy graveyard. At this moment, the Void Interpretation Realm experts of the Boundless Sea Empire were already prepared. Revenge. Hunting Heaven's Chosen. Everything had to wait until tomorrow. HMPH, they really think that nameless Heaven's Chosen is invincible. I hate this kind of people the most. They don't even dare to show their faces. Within the Heaven's Pride Pavilion, 3 figures stood at the very top, overlooking the entire Heaven's Pride stage. The girl on the left spoke with a displeased expression. They really thought that Nameless would win. What a joke. Tang Yuan coldly drank a mouthful of tea, his eyes filled with disdain. Right now, Qian Ye's strength is something that no one could have imagined. Not only her strength, but also her achievements in the past 2 years. In the future, this Qian Yi will definitely be a dragon among men. Tang Feng's eyes flickered as he thought of Qian Yi. His gaze was solemn as well. Big brother, I heard that this Qian Yi wants to establish a sect and a dynasty. Tang Yuan asked curiously. With his strength, he is still far from establishing a sect and a dynasty. However, he has great ambitions. If he doesn't die, he might really be able to establish a powerful faction in the future. Tang Feng evaluated with a serious expression. Tang Ling Er and Tang Yuan revealed expressions of surprise. There weren't many people who could make their big brother comment in this way. The stars changed, day and night alternated. On the second day, a large number of people rushed over from the front of the Heaven's Pride stage. Under normal circumstances, 30 to 40,000 people around the Heaven's Pride stage was already a very large number. However, today, around 9 a.m., more than 100,000 people had gathered around the Heaven's Pride stage. There were still a few hours before the duel in the afternoon. There are so many people. The arena can't support so many people. Yeah, I reckon there will be many people who won't be able to enter the arena to watch. Just watch from the sky. Who knows, the battle might end very soon. After all, the Nameless Heaven's Pride stage is so strong. You're underestimating the top stage. This is the top stage. It can accommodate more than 200,000 people. When there was still about half an hour before the scheduled battle time, more than 200,000 people gathered around the Prodigy stage. The densely packed crowd made many young people frown. Everyone hurriedly flew into the sky. They wanted to enter the stage as soon as possible. The sky, which was 500 meters high, was filled with people. Some of them would occasionally look at the arena and the cultivation room in the middle, which belonged to the top heaven's favorites. Many of the young men had envious looks in their eyes. There are actually so many people. Wang Xian walked out of the room and looked around. He revealed a surprised expression. There were more than 20 people. It was densely packed. It was like a sea of people. Luckily, I wore a mask to hide my identity. Wang Xian thought to himself. He scanned his surroundings and realized that there were more than a dozen insightful Emptiness Realm experts. He looked at the time. It was almost time for the scheduled battle. Buzz. At this moment, Wang Xian sensed the vibration of the formation coming from the Heaven's Favorites arena above him. He raised his eyebrows and flew upwards. The formation has been activated. We can enter now. Qian Yi should be nearby. Let's go in first. Look, the nameless Heaven's Favorites have entered the Heaven's Favorites arena. The battle for the first place on the Heaven's Favorites list has begun. The crowd around them sensed the changes in the Heaven's Favorites arena. They were all excited as they flew into the arena. More than 200,000 people swarmed into the arena. The densely packed crowd was also very shocked. Wang Xian had already arrived at the center of the arena. It was an arena with a radius of 3 kilometers. Only he and Qian Yi could enter the arena. The rest could not enter. Nameless. 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 When some people entered the arena and saw Wang Xian standing in the arena, they shouted excitedly. A strong person would be respected no matter where he was. This was especially so for someone like Wang Xian, a genius of the current generation who could suppress the entire era. Many people were filled with admiration for him. Ren Xingqian and Ling Jian stood closer to the ring. As they looked at Wang Xian, their eyes sparkled. There are more people who are optimistic about the nameless heaven's pride. To be able to possess such strength at the age of 26, how terrifying. I wonder which faction nurtured him. Most of them support the nameless prodigy. After all, Qian Yi hasn't made a move for 2 years. Moreover, when she defeated Tang Feng, she barely won in a few moves. Maybe this nameless prodigy can really make history. At the age of 26, he can become the top prodigy in the Luhai region and suppress the entire Luhai region for an era. Those who were older than 50 years old, or those who did not mingle in the prodigy stage, had astonished expressions on their faces when they heard this earth-shattering shout. Those from the Divine Wind Academy who supported Senior Qian Yi had embarrassed expressions on their faces. Their shouts were completely unable to cause any ripples here. Senior Qian Yi, hurry up and come out. Hurry up and kill this arrogant fellow, Nameless. Some of the Divine Wind Academy students thought to themselves as they sized up their surroundings. The arena had already opened, which meant that Senior Thousand Leaves was in the surroundings. Roar roar. Right at this moment, a roar suddenly sounded in the sky above the arena. The abrupt sound caused everyone to be slightly taken aback. Who is so arrogant? To actually bring a mount here? Doesn't he know how to keep a low profile? This is an act of courting death. The roar of the fierce beast caused many experts of the profound void tier to be dissatisfied. They all looked to the right. Thousand Shadow Mercenary Group, over 500 people? Why are all the members of the Thousand Shadow Mercenary Group here? Chapter 1250, 1000 Leaves. Thousand Shadow Mercenary Group. Aren't they a very low-profile mercenary group? Why are they so high-profile this time, and there are so many people? So they are from the Thousand Shadow Mercenary Group. This Thousand Shadow is not weak. The entire mercenary group has 3 experts at the first level of the Profound Void tier. The leader of the mercenary group is extremely mysterious. The 2 vice leaders of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group are here, and even the leader who rarely appears in the center is here. What are they trying to do? When everyone looked to the right, the Thousand Shadows mercenary group appeared in their line of sight. They were floating in the sky and wore black clothes. They gave off a murderous aura. The Thousand Shadows mercenary group was a relatively famous mercenary group in the Ladyboy graveyard. A 3-star diamond mercenary group had 3 rank 1 void interpretation experts, and their leader was extremely mysterious. The Thousand Shadow mercenary group might not seem very powerful in the various dynasties and sects, but it was definitely ranked in the top 5 in the demi-human graveyard. The Thousand Shadow mercenary group had completed more than 10 diamond rank missions and killed 2 rank 1 void interpretation demon beasts. Their battle records were among the best among the mercenary groups. Many factions wanted to rope in the Thousand Shadow mercenary group, but they were all rejected. The Thousand Shadow mercenary group usually kept a low profile, but no faction dared to ignore them. After all, they were 3 profound void tier experts. Everyone looked at the high-profile Thousand Shadow mercenary group in surprise, and their gazes swept over them. That beast roar came from the mount of the Thousand Shadow mercenary group's leader, who was covered in a black robe. It was a rhinoceros shadow beast, a half-step void interpretation rhinoceros shadow beast. Seeing everyone looking over, the Thousand Shadow mercenary group slightly raised their heads and slowly walked into the arena. All of them had a faint smile on their faces. 2 middle-aged men, one on the left and the other on the right, had proud expressions on their faces. They looked like kings as they looked around. Who are they? Could it be that Qian Yi is a member of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group? Seeing them walking in with such a high profile, some of them raised their eyebrows and guessed. Wang Xian stood in the arena and looked at the members of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group. His eyes were sparkling. When the members of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group entered the arena, the leader of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group, who was riding on the rhinoceros shadow beast, flew down from the beast. He took a few steps forward. At this moment, he slowly lifted the hood that covered his face, revealing a young face. When his face was revealed in front of everyone, around the entire arena, more than 200,000 people widened their eyes, and a shocked expression slowly appeared on their faces. "1,000 leaves." As he spoke, he slightly raised his head, and an intense confidence appeared on his face. The corners of his mouth slightly curled up, and his gaze swept over the 200,000 people around the arena. Qian Yi." These three words were filled with dominance and confidence. It was filled with an aura that transcended everything. The leader of the Thousand Shadow mercenary group. The following words struck heavily on everyone's hearts. The leader of the Thousand Shadow mercenary group. This was his identity. When these two domineering words spread throughout the entire Heaven's Pride stage, one could hear a pin drop. Boom! But this lasted only 2 seconds. 2 seconds later, the top of the talent list, the pinnacle of the ring around, burst out like a tsunami-like sound. Carelessly. Chiba, leader of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group, oh my god. Insightful emptiness first order strong person, this is insightful emptiness first order strong person. My god, Qian Yi is actually the leader of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group, an expert at the first level of the insightful void realm. This is not the most terrifying part. The most terrifying part is that Qian Yi has such a terrifying force, the Thousand Shadows mercenary group. 2 insightful void realm experts are willing to work for him. Our senior Qian Yi is an expert at the insightful void realm. Our senior Qian Yi is the leader of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group. That nobody has no right to compare with our senior Qian Ying. Long live senior Qian Yi, long live senior Qian Yi, senior Qian Yi is invincible. A 49-year-old profound void realm expert, too terrifying. Such talent, only the sect leader of the Heavenly Sword sect more than 100 years ago could reach it, and the current sect leader of the Sword Whisper sect is already one of the top experts in the Flowing Sea region. Shocking, too shocking. My god, who would have thought that Qian Yi is the leader of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group? Who would have thought that he has already stepped into the profound void realm? Everyone's faces were filled with shock as they looked at Qian Yi, who was floating in front of them. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. The students of the Divine Wind Academy were even crazily roaring. Their faces were filled with excitement. Qian Yi's strength and Qian Yi's identity caused everyone to be shocked. Just a moment ago, all of you were still shouting that Nameless was invincible. You even said that Nameless could crush our senior Qian Yi. What about now? All of you continue to be arrogant. That's right, those bunch of dog-licking dogs who support Nameless, are you all going to fucking bark again? Isn't this a slap in the face? A slap in the face. A mere nobody still wants to compete with our senior 1,000 leaves. This is simply the light of a grain of rice vying for the splendor of the bright moon, At this moment, the students of the Divine Wind Academy thought of the humiliation they had suffered in the past 2 days, and all of them raised their heads and shouted at the youths around them. They had vented their anger. After seeing Senior Qian Yi's strength and influence, they could only use the light of a grain of rice to compare with the radiance of the bright moon. Even if the nameless prodigy was extremely monstrous, at the moment, at least, he did not have the qualifications to be compared to their senior Qian Yi. When the rest of the people saw the arrogant expressions of the students of the Divine Wind Academy, their expressions changed. When they saw that figure, they could not help but exclaim in their hearts. They had misjudged Qian Yi. They had not expected Qian Yi to be so terrifying. Qian Yi, the king of heaven's pride. Qian Yi, the king of heaven's pride. A student from the Divine Wind Academy shouted loudly. The rest of the students echoed in agreement. Very quickly, the entire arena was filled with this voice. It was even louder than the nameless voice that had shouted earlier. When Qian Yi saw this scene, a faint smile appeared on his face. This was the effect he wanted. Under everyone's gaze, he waved his hand indifferently, indicating for the shouting to stop. And when the person who shouted saw this action of his, he also took the initiative to stop. Each and every one of them looked at him with respect and shock. This time, Qian Yi, I'm not here to accept the challenge. I want to announce that our Thousand Shadow Mercenary Group will be recruiting elite members for the next period of time. We need stronger companions. Here, I sincerely invite every elite warrior to join our Thousand Shadow Mercenary Group. As Qian Yi said this, a faint smile appeared on his face. He directly said that he wasn't here to accept the challenge. He didn't put the top ranker of the prodigy role in his eyes at all. He also didn't put nameless in his eyes. Chapter 1251, Sword Demon. When Qian Yi received the message of Wang Xian's challenge, a smile appeared on her face. At that time, he knew that this was a great opportunity for him and the entire Thousand Shadows mercenary group. He could use this opportunity to expand the influence of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group by more than 10 times. He could use this opportunity to recruit more powerful members for the Thousand Shadows mercenary group. As for the duel this time, he really didn't take it to heart. Senior Thousand Leaves Thousand Shadow mercenary group actually recruited members? I'll definitely go to the Thousand Shadow mercenary group after graduation. I want to go as well. I'll go in a while. I wonder if I have the qualifications. Although I'm not from the Divine Wind Academy, I still want to give it a try. The Thousand Shadow mercenary group has a boundless future. When the 200,000 plus people on the surrounding arenas heard Qian Yi's words, some of the middle-aged youths revealed expressions of interest. To reach the insightful Void Realm at such a young age and create such a powerful mercenary group, this Qian Yi might be able to become a powerful force that could shake the entire Flowing Sea region. If he joined now, it would be extremely beneficial to his future. This Qian Yi is truly talented. After today, the Thousand Shadow mercenary group will become a hot existence. At that time, there will definitely be many experts joining. Amazing, truly worthy of being the King of Heaven's chosen. Some insightful void martial experts looked at Qian Yi in the sky, their eyes flashing as they exclaimed in admiration. When the members of the Thousand Shadow mercenary group saw this scene, they looked at their leader with admiration. Although their group leader was young, he was definitely a king. In the future, he would definitely be able to step onto the peak. Are you done talking? Isn't it time to come down? At this moment, a cold voice suddenly sounded, causing everyone to be slightly stunned. This voice caused everyone's faces to reveal a stunned expression. Over 200,000 people looked towards the center of the arena. The Nameless Heaven's favorite must be feeling angry that he was ignored by everyone. He still wants to challenge. Is he courting death? He still dares to continue challenging. Shouldn't he surrender now? The voice was very loud just now. Now that he has been completely ignored, he might feel uncomfortable. However, this Nameless Heaven's favorite is a little irrational. If Ruo Qianye wants to argue with him, she can just kill him directly. When the people in the arena saw that Wang Xian still dared to provoke them, they showed disdain on their faces. Qian Yi looked at Wang Xian and looked at the figure hidden under the mask. Her eyes were filled with indifference. Do you still want to fight? Just admit defeat. You have reached such a stage at such a young age. Even I admire you. Are you interested in joining our Thousand Shadows mercenary group? He looked down at Wang Xian with a superior attitude and asked. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at Qian Yi, who was boasting in the air. He was filled with displeasure. If you want to be boastful, so be it. You even want to step on me to be boastful. This is your fault. Moreover, you are still looking down on me with the attitude of a superior. Hee hee. The so-called invitation was still the attitude of a superior. In Wang Xian's opinion, she was really arrogant. Extremely arrogant. What qualifications did he have? Senior Qianyi is really magnanimous. She was provoked by a nobody and even invited him to join the Thousand Shadows mercenary group. Facing such an arrogant and provocative person, if it were me, I would kill him with a slap. Qianyi is really magnanimous. In the eyes of the surrounding young men, Qianyi was extremely magnanimous. She had the aura of a powerhouse. On the other hand, the so-called nobody was just a nobody. Get down here. The corner of Wang Xian's mouth curled up slightly as a cold expression appeared in his eyes. When Qianyi heard Wang Xian's words, the smile on her face slowly disappeared as she narrowed her eyes slightly. Didn't you hear me? Wang Xian stared at him and said coldly once again. You're courting death. You're courting death. You're courting death. As soon as he finished his sentence, the members of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group who were standing behind Qianyi had a murderous look on their faces as they shouted at Wang Xian coldly. The people in the surrounding arenas were also staring at Wang Xian in astonishment. This nameless man was really courting death. I won't care about the provocation of an ant. However, if this ant keeps acting recklessly, I don't mind slapping him to death. Qianyi stared at Wang Xian and her tone was filled with a faint killing intent. Wang Xian laughed out loud. A hint of killing intent flashed in his eyes as he stared at Qianyi. Why don't you come down and try smacking me to death, an ant? Reckless. I see that you are a heaven's favorite with a bright future. I didn't expect you to be so stupid. Once I go down, I will definitely kill you. Qianyi stared at Wang Xian coldly. After being provoked continuously, he was tempted to kill him. It seems like someone is going to die. Wang Xian raised his head slightly. He had already made up his mind. This was supposed to be the fight for the top spot. Since the other party wanted to kill him, Wang Xian would definitely not be polite. Kid, I have to say that you have completely infuriated me. Qianyi laughed loudly and charged into the arena. Courting death, this nameless is courting death. Doesn't that mean that he still wants to challenge Senior Qianyi? What a foolish fellow. There's a huge gap between half-step void interpretation and void interpretation. It's not an exaggeration to say that anyone below the void interpretation stage is an ant. That nameless is still too young. When the crowd saw Qianyi fly into the arena filled with killing intent, they all shook their heads. For such a young heaven's favorite to die in such a manner, it was really such a pity. Remember, the one who killed you today is me, Qianyi, leader of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group. The leader of the Heaven's Favorites in the Heaven's Favorites arena. Qianyi entered the arena and remained suspended in the air above the arena. She stared at Wang Xian coldly as if she was judging and sentencing him. Hee hee. Wang Xian laughed and moved his hand gently. A black longsword appeared in his hand. The longsword was attached with a scabbard. Wang Xian had never opened this sword when he was fighting with others because others didn't have the qualifications to do so. In fact, in his opinion, this arrogant and pretentious Qianyi didn't have the qualifications to do so either. However, Wang Xian still made way for Qianyi to unsheath her scabbard. It was because he wanted to be stained with blood. It was because he wanted to be pretentious too. Clang! A sharp sound rang out in the arena. It was a black longsword. It was the second-level void interpretation demon-free sword. Hey, why are you still unsheathing your sword? This fellow is courting death. On the stage, a young man sneered when he saw Wang Xian unsheathing his sword. Wang Xian didn't pay any attention to this voice. The corner of his mouth curled up slightly. Similarly, Qianyi lifted her hat just like when Qianyi arrived. Wang Xian, on the other hand, pulled his black robe gently and placed it directly into his interspatial ring. He was dressed in ordinary black clothes, a mask, and a black longsword. Some people were slightly stunned when they saw Wang Xian's figure. A look of reminiscence appeared on their faces. I'm just a nobody. That's why I'm called a nobody. Not long ago, someone called me Sword Demon. Chapter 1252, Under the Sword Demon, 37/40. I'm just a nobody. That's why I'm called nobody. Not long ago, someone called me Sword Demon. On the Heaven's Pride stage, under the gaze of more than 200,000 people, Qianyi looked down at Wang Xian with a dignified expression. Her high and mighty attitude was filled with judgment. Wang Xian had a cold expression on his face. After he finished his sentence, he waved the demon-free sword in his hand gently. Buzz! The demon-free sword trembled and activated the heaven-deceiving pearl. The sharp attribute light turned pitch-black immediately. Just like in front of the sword mansion, a huge amount of pitch-black energy fluctuated and emitted a deep black glow. When Wang Xian threw away his black robe and wore a mask while holding a black longsword in his hand, the sword glow emitted a deep glow. Some of the people in the arena paused for a moment, and their pupils slowly dilated. Sword Demon? What Sword Demon? You're just pretending. When a young man from the Divine Wind Academy heard Wang Xian's words, a look of disdain appeared on his face. You're a sword demon, and I'm the god of swords. Sword Demon. Sword Demon. Not long ago, someone called me Sword Demon. However, around the arena, a group of people stared at Wang Xian and mumbled. Yes, Sword Demon. He is Sword Demon. It's him, it's really him. The surroundings were silent for 2 seconds before a shocked roar was heard. A middle-aged man was staring at Wang Xian with a face full of shock. It's this set of clothes, the same mask, the same black longsword, and the same sharp longsword at the second level of the void interpretation stage. That's right, that's definitely right. He stared at Wang Xian and roared. Sword Demon? Sword Demon, could it be the Sword Demon that killed 2 first-level void interpretation stage experts of the Meng clan and over 200 experts of the Meng clan in one move? Oh my god, no way. It's him, it's him. This is the first time he appeared at the Sword Mansion. He defeated all the elites of the Meng clan with 1 person and 1 sword. 2 void interpretation stage experts were killed, and his swordsmanship was extremely terrifying. After that, he was called the Sword Demon. It must be the Sword Demon, it must be him. Look at Ren Xingqian's attitude towards him. He is extremely respectful towards him. Back then, the Sword Demon saved Ren Xingqian's life. More and more voices rang out. Their faces were filled with shock as they roared, expressing the shock in their hearts. There were not many people who had seen the Sword Demon with their own eyes. There were only a few thousand people, but there were many who had heard of the name Sword Demon. After all, 1 person had killed 2 insightful void martial artists of the Meng clan. One could imagine his strength. Those who had seen the figure of Sword Demon slowly overlapped with the figure in front of them, perfectly overlapping. Their faces were filled with disbelief. Sword Demon was actually a nameless prodigy. He was actually only a 26-year-old youth. Qianyi had reached the insightful void martial stage at the age of 49, which had already caused a great sensation. Now, the nameless prodigy was Sword Demon, the Sword Demon who had killed 2 insightful void realm experts by himself. They felt that it was very unreal. Sword Demon, I seem to have heard of this name before. He killed 2 insightful void realm experts by himself. He's incomparably powerful. He actually... When some people heard the exclamations of the people around them, their faces also slightly opened their mouths. What the fuck, nameless is Sword Demon. Then what the fuck is Qianyi? Sword Demon killed 2 insightful void realm experts at the first level. No one would have thought that Qianyi would reveal her shocking identity and power, standing high and mighty. However, no one would have thought that Nameless' identity would be even more terrifying. This is going to be interesting. Thousand Shadows Mercenary Group Leader vs Sword Demon. However, I still have high hopes for Sword Demon. This year's top ranker battle is simply more brutal than the previous one. Everyone thought that Qian Yi was already extremely terrifying. No one would have thought that Nameless would be even more terrifying. He fought 2 experts at the Profound Void tier and even killed them. This is a true battle record. The crowd was in an uproar. The identity that Nameless revealed was too shocking. Cool, this is simply too cool. I just don't like Qian Yi acting cool. Now, let's see how you can still act cool. You even said that Nameless is an ant and killed him casually. Some people revealed excited expressions as they stared at the arena with burning eyes. In the sky above the arena, Qian Ye's expression slowly darkened. Her eyes were sparkling as she stared at Wang Xian below. It was beyond his expectations. It was completely beyond his expectations. Sword Demon. This was the first time he had heard of this name. However, from the exclamations around him, he knew the strength of that Sword Demon. He had single-handedly killed 2 powerhouses at the first level of the see-through void stage. I hate it the most. Someone is trying to show off in front of me. Thousand Shadows Mercenary Group. Come on, Captain Qian Yi. Kill me, and your Thousand Shadows Mercenary Group will become even more famous. Wang Xian waved the long sword in his hand and pointed it at Qian Yi. Strength comes from killing, not from words. Cool, this is so cool. Strength comes from killing, not from words. Awesome, this is the real strong one. Don't be so cocky, let's see who's the real deal. Qian Ye's expression has started to change. Just now, she kept stepping on the Nameless Heaven's favorite to show off. Now, she's acting too big. When the crowd heard Wang Xian's words and saw Qian Ye's expression, some of them mocked him. To the audience, they didn't have much of a position to begin with. Whoever was cocky would support them. Alright. Qian Yi gritted her teeth when she saw Wang Xian's provocation. There was no way out for him now. In fact, he had to win this battle. Otherwise, his pretentious act would undoubtedly become a huge joke. This was also a huge blow to the Thousand Shadows Mercenary Group. I don't care if you are Nameless or Sword Demon. I will defeat you under my blade here. Qian Ye's body trembled as a terrifying aura emanated from his body. Sharp lancet blades appeared around him. There were more than a dozen of them. Each of the lancet blades was emitting a green glow. Qian Ye's famous weapon, the lancet blade, was able to unleash a terrifying attack while controlling more than a dozen lancet blades. Wang Xian sensed Qian Ye's aura and a look of disdain flashed across his eyes. I'll let you make the first move. Arrogant. Do you really think that you can underestimate me, Qian Yi? Qian Ye's face was ice cold. With a wave of her hands, the lancet blades with strong wind blades flew straight at Wang Xian. The battle had begun. Everyone's heart skipped a beat as they watched this unexpected battle with excitement. They thought it would be a battle between a half-step void interpretation stage powerhouse. In the end, it turned out to be a battle between 2 void interpretation stage powerhouses. Brilliant Sun. The demon-free sword in Wang Xian's hand waved gently at the lancet blades. A combined attack of 3 attributes. Under the heaven-deceiving pearl, Brilliant Sun turned into a ray of black light. Crack! 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 When the 2 attributes collided, it didn't explode as expected. Instead, it was the sound of shattering. Chapter 1253, How dare she show off with such strength? Qian Ye's famous weapon was the lancet. There were a total of 18 of them, and each of them was a weapon at the half-step void interpretation level. When all 18 of them were combined, the attack that they could unleash would definitely not be inferior to a weapon at the first level of the void interpretation level. In fact, it might even be a little stronger. However, when those lancet blades touched Wang Xian's radiant sun, they were like glass that had been burnt and broke apart. What? When Qianyi saw that her lancet blades were shattered, she widened her eyes. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. The radiant sun charged forward like a black hole. It attacked Qianyi. Qianye's expression changed drastically. Storm attack. He growled and a terrifying storm appeared around him. It attacked the black light. Boom! 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 The collision of the two energies produced an explosive sound. The power of the storm attack was quickly melted by the black light. It was as though the entire world had been cleansed and turned into darkness. Qianye's eyes widened and her body could not help but tremble. Water tomb. At this moment, Wang Xian waved the longsword in his hand once again and a black ocean appeared under Qianye's feet. Get lost! Qianyi roared furiously as she looked at the pitch-black liquid that looked like an abyss below. She looked at the sun that had broken through the storm and let out a roar. A terrifying gust of wind and waves was emitted from his body. The surrounding air seemed to be stirred by this gust of wind and waves. As the sun was blocked, the water tomb below began to fluctuate rapidly. Get lost! Do you really think you are so superior? At this moment, Wang Xian's cold voice came from below. He looked over and his expression changed drastically. Earth burial entwining, an attack with the combination of wood and earth attributes. However, after Wang Xian's deeper understanding of the combination of attributes, earth burial entwining this time had undergone a huge change. The soil was wrapped around the thorns and coiled around Qianye's legs like a poisonous snake. Qianye's expression changed drastically. With a wave of her arm, streaks of extremely sharp wind rays slashed towards the thorns. However, his ordinary attacks were completely useless against Wang Xian's combined attacks. Whoosh! 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 The thorns that were covered by the earth attribute wound around one of Qianye's legs in the sky. Wang Xian pulled gently. The terrifying strength instantly left him in shock. Three Spirits Battle Armor, cover. The Three Spirits Battle Armor was a combination of water, wood, and earth. It was Wang Xian's only defensive combination of battle skills. The Three Spirits Battle Armor could not only cover his entire body, but it could also cover other places. Wang Xian's arm shook slightly. The Three Spirits Battle Armor covered the thorny thorns directly. Qianyi struggled with all her might, but the thorny thorns did not move at all. This caused a look of horror to appear in his eyes. Bang! Under the immense strength of Wang Xian, his body crashed heavily onto the ground, causing Qianyi to spit out fresh blood. His head was in a daze. A guy who has just stepped into the Insightful Emptiness Realm and is weaker than the two Insightful Emptiness Realm experts that I killed. How dare he speak arrogantly in front of me? How dare he act arrogantly in front of me? How dare he make me submit? Wang Xian held the thorn with one hand and his disdainful voice resonated in the arena. You. Qianyi, who was stunned by Wang Xian's attack, revealed a blood-red expression. Go to hell. Dharma Idol, Wind Spirit Blade God. He roared again and his entire body was covered by a blade-shaped green wind energy. Qianyi was like a terrifying lancet. With a wave of his arm, he conjured another lancet and slashed at the thorn that was tied to his leg. Bang! The sound of the collision rang out. However, the result left him dumbfounded. How is this possible? An unbelievable trembling voice came from his throat. Trash, your superior appearance is totally incompatible with your strength. Wang Xian stood there and looked at him quietly. With his current strength, it was a piece of cake for him to kill Qianyi. Even if he were to use his Dharma Idol, it wouldn't pose any threat to him. Swoosh! At this moment, Wang Xian pulled the thorn in his hand gently again. His entire body flew towards him uncontrollably. Die! Qianyi listened to Wang Xian's taunt and watched as his body was pulled over. Her face was filled with fear. She waved her arms in fear and slashed towards the thorn. The Dharma idol Wind Spirit Blade God. This was his Dharma idol, his strongest attack. When his Dharma idol was activated, he transformed into the Willow Leaf Blade God. With a wave of his arm, a terrifying and sharp wind blade appeared. However, his attack was completely useless when it landed on the thorns. A look of despair appeared on his face. He was a little crazy and found it hard to accept. He was an existence at the top of the prodigy roll. He was a peerless prodigy who had reached the profound void tier at the age of 49. Now, in the hands of this nameless sword demon, he actually did not have the strength to resist at all. "Paw! What else do you have to say?" Right at this moment, a long sword was placed on his neck. In front of him was a mask. It was as light as the wind and clouds. Thousand Leaves widened her eyes. Her face was covered in cold sweat. In fact, her entire body was covered in sweat. Boom! This. At that moment, it was as if a soundless rumble of thunder resounded in the minds of everyone around the arena. They even wanted to roar, but they felt as if their throats were being choked. How could this be? How long had it been? The battle between Qian Yi and the nameless sword demon had not even lasted a minute. However, in just a few short seconds, Qian Yi, the leader of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group, the champion of the prodigy role. However, in the battle just now, he did not have the slightest ability to resist. He even used his strongest attack, his Dharma idol, but it was still useless. At this moment, the nameless sword demon's long sword was placed on his neck. His face was filled with fear and fear. How can the gap be so huge? How can the nameless sword demon be so strong? He is only 26 years old. When some insightful void martial artists saw this scene, they also gulped. Their faces were filled with shock. Are you going to kill yourself, or do you want me to help you? Wang Xian stared at Qian Yi with a mocking expression and said faintly to her. Humiliation, blatant humiliation. Are you going to kill yourself, or do I have to help you? Just like what Qian Yi said to Wang Xian earlier, there was a difference between not surrendering. Disdain and mockery. However, it was now Qian Yi's turn. No. Don't kill me. Qian Yi looked at the long sword that was right in front of her and said with a trembling voice. He was a heaven's favorite with a bright future. He wasn't willing to die just like that. He wasn't willing. Why don't I kill you? Wang Xian looked at him indifferently and asked. Please don't kill me. I'll apologize to you. I'll apologize to you. He shouted at once. He no longer had the heroic spirit he had earlier. He no longer had the imposing manner of a ruler. Chapter 1254, Reach the Top. Qian Yi's begging voice sounded in the arena. Everyone widened their eyes in silence. The entire arena was filled with heavy breathing. When the members of the Thousand Shadows mercenary group saw their leader in such a state, all of them clenched their fists tightly. Their breathing was a little rapid. You want to kill me? How can I let you off? Wang Xian stared at Qian Yi expressionlessly. The demon-free sword in his hand moved slightly. No. Looking at the movement in Wang Xian's hand, Qian Yi's heart pounded violently. She screamed with all her might. The fear and the intense sound of survival made everyone's scalps tingle. However, his voice stopped abruptly. Wang Xian gently put down the demon-free sword in his hand. Qian Yi's death was fated because he wanted to step on Wang Xian to raise his status. Later on, he wanted to kill him. If you have the intention to kill, Wang Xian would naturally not let your enemy off. Dead. The strength of the nameless sword demon is simply too terrifying. This is too fast. Qian Yi is also a powerhouse at the first level of the see-through realm. She actually has no ability to resist at all. It's over. It's over so quickly. Qian Yu was actually killed so easily. Oh my god, how could the nameless sword demon's strength be so terrifying? The ruler of the world, looking down on the same generation as Qian Yi, was actually killed so easily. Perhaps even he himself didn't dare to believe it. If he knew of this result, he probably wouldn't have been so pretentious. When Qian Yi fell to the ground, the entire arena was in an uproar. It was too fast. Too strong. Around the exploding arena, more than 200,000 people were shocked, causing the entire arena to be extremely noisy. Wang Xian kept Qian Ye's corpse into his interspatial ring and scanned his surroundings with a smile. The nameless sword demon is invincible. The nameless sword demon is invincible. Some of the young men shouted in admiration when they saw Wang Xian scanning his surroundings. The strong were respected by people, especially people like Wang Xian. He was the target and idol of every young man. Invincible nameless sword demon. Invincible nameless sword demon. The roars were heard one after another. Slowly, the entire arena was covered by this slogan. Wang Xian did not have the slightest fluctuation in response to these shouts, roars, and gazes of fervent respect and worship. What he was after was not these empty cheers, but greater strength. These cheers were more practical than the spiritual liquid obtained from defeating Qian Yi. Wang Xian moved his body and ignored the cheers from the crowd. He headed straight to the room beside the Heaven's Pride stage. There was a porcelain bottle of spiritual liquid there. Wang Xian took it over with an excited smile on his face. With nearly 90,000 spiritual liquid in his hands, he took out Qian Ye's interspatial ring. When he saw more than 10,000 spiritual liquid in it, he couldn't help but laugh again. I broke through a Heaven's Pride ranking and obtained close to 100 million dragon crystals. In addition to selling void interpretation level weapons, I still need more than 800 million spiritual liquid to level up. Wang Xian couldn't help but laugh. This is unbelievable. Qian Yi was killed so easily. Oh my god, how strong is the nameless sword demon? Could it be that he has already reached the second level of the insightful void level? To create history, since the ancient times, who could have such a strong strength at the age of 26? This is almost comparable to those emperors. After today, the name of the nameless sword demon is destined to resound throughout the entire flowing sea region. It's so powerful that it makes people despair. Qian Ye's strength is definitely not weak, but in front of him, he's like an ant. This time, Qian Yi will no longer be pretentious and will be easily killed. Tsk, Qian Ye's talent is also very terrifying. What a pity. Now your group of people who support Qian Yi won't be called? Is it a slap in the face? In the beginning, all of you were still mocking the nameless sword demon. After the match in the arena ended, everyone was ejected from the arena by the power of the array formation. However, the shocking discussions about this battle had only just begun. Even today's battle had been discussed for at least 10 days. A 26-year-old youth had reached the top of the prodigy roll. He was the only one among the younger generation who looked down on the entire Luhai region. Since ancient times, there might not even be a successor. Who? In the sky above the prodigy platform, Tang Feng, Tang Yuan, and Tang Ling took a deep breath. Their eyes flickered. How could a 26-year-old possess such powerful strength? Even with so many resources, we weren't able to step into the profound void martial stage. Tang Yuan's eyes revealed a jealous expression, filled with unwillingness. Tang Feng, who was at the side, was somewhat silent, followed by a cold smile. No matter how strong a heaven's favorite is, he must be able to survive. After he finished speaking, his gaze looked at the surrounding sky, and a trace of a smile appeared on his face. Great formation, lock. Right at this moment, an ice-cold voice suddenly sounded, and an incomparably huge blue barrier in the sky covered an area of 5 kilometers. What? At least hundreds of thousands of people were covered in this space, causing everyone to be slightly stunned. A stunned expression appeared on their faces. Who dares to court death? An old man at the profound void tier felt this terrifying formation. His expression changed slightly as he hurriedly shouted. The Boundless Sea Empire has disturbed everyone. Everyone, don't worry. After we kill the person we want to deal with, we will immediately leave. A voice sounded in the sky, and the hundreds of thousands of people were slightly stunned as they hurriedly looked toward the sky. A group of 13 people stood in the sky and glanced at everyone below. Each of them contained a terrifying energy. Everyone was slightly shocked. It's the Hanhai domain. This array is the Hanhai domain, the strongest array of the Hanhai dynasty. It can trap a rank 5 void interpretation realm expert. Hiss, the Hanhai dynasty actually brought the country protection array. A shocked voice sounded from a middle-aged man, causing everyone to be slightly shocked. The nation guarding formation. The vast ocean empire actually used the nation guarding formation to trap all of them here. This made many people feel baffled, but at the same time, they were also extremely shocked. What's going on? The vast ocean empire actually used the nation guarding formation. Who are they going to deal with? Ling Jian they must be going to deal with Ling Jian the nameless sword demon, and that Ren Xingqian. It should be because of what happened 2 days ago. I didn't expect the Hanhai dynasty to send out so many terrifying experts. They are swearing to kill Ling Jian and the others. Shocked voices came from some people, and everyone immediately looked around. Ling Jian is over there, and Ren Xingqian as well. One person hurriedly pointed over and looked at the 2 people who were standing not too far away in the sky. At this moment, Ling Jian and Ren Xingqian's expressions were extremely unsightly. They sensed the formation below and clenched their fists tightly. Chapter 1255, Training Ground. Too careless. Too careless. Ling Jian and Ren Xingqian stood at the bottom of the ceiling formation, their eyes filled with a solemn expression. They were so close to the Heaven's Pride stage, and if they encountered any danger, they could enter their respective Heaven's Pride stage. As long as they entered, no one in the Luhai region would be able to do anything to them. However, they did not expect that the Hanhai dynasty would actually bring over the Hanhai dynasty's national protection array in order to kill them. This was a top-grade array that was at the 5th rank of the Profound Void tier, and even a 5th rank Profound Void tier expert would find it difficult to destroy it. Everyone in the surroundings looked towards Ling Jian and Ren Xingqian. Some of the people who were closer hurriedly pulled away from them. This caused Ling Jian and Ren Xingqian to be extremely eye-catching within the grand array. Demonis, you killed the prince of my Hanhai dynasty. Today, no matter what your identity is, we will kill you. No one can stop us. In addition, your accomplice, our Hanhai dynasty, will also kill him. Anyone who dares to invade our Hanhai dynasty, no matter who he is, will have to pay a huge price. In the sky, at the center of the 13 profound void spaces, an old man coldly stared at Ling Jian and Ren Xingqian as he spoke in a deep voice. Hiss, looks like the Hanhai dynasty will definitely kill Ling Jian and that Ren Xingqian will also be unlucky. Now that Qian Yi is dead, they are the 2nd and 3rd ranked heaven's favorites. Do you think they will also kill the Nameless Sword Demon? The Nameless Sword Devil is in the prodigy stage. Unless the Boundless Sea Empire has set up a formation here and is waiting for the Nameless Sword Devil to come out, it is obvious that the Boundless Sea Empire cannot afford to waste time. Within the formation, everyone's eyes flickered when they heard the voice of the Boundless Sea Empire's top experts. The Boundless Sea Empire's revenge was within everyone's expectations. However, they did not expect it to come so quickly and so fiercely. Inside the formation, Ling Jian and Ren Xingqian scanned their surroundings. Ha! What's going on? In the arena below, Wang Xian walked out of his room. His expression changed slightly as he sensed the fluctuations of the powerful formation outside. When he saw the 13 insightful void stage powerhouses in the sky, his pupils constricted slightly. The Hanhai Empire, they are here too. Wang Xian's eyes revealed a serious expression. However, He suddenly looked to the left and saw a group of 20 terrifying figures flying towards him. "Whoever dares to hurt our young miss, our heavenly sword sect will not rest until one of us dies." A furious roar swept across a radius of dozens of kilometers. When they heard this voice, the hundreds of thousands of people around the Heaven's Pride stage were shocked. Even the 13 insightful Emptiness Realm experts from the Hanhai Empire were moved. "The experts from the Heaven's Sword sect are here. The elder at the front is at level 5 of the insightful Emptiness Realm. It seems that Ling Jian and Ren Xingchen should be safe." Wang Xian looked over and heaved a sigh of relief. If the Heaven's Sword sect didn't come, it would be a very troublesome matter for him. At this moment, the array compass on his body vibrated. He looked at the message on it. It was from Long Xiaotian. "Help me tame the ferocious beasts." Wang Xian looked at the message and flew out of the Heaven's Pride stage. At this moment, everyone's gaze was stunned by the experts from the Heavenly Sword sect who were flying over from the sky. They didn't realize that Wang Xian had already left the Heaven's Pride stage. He didn't stay here to watch the subsequent developments. However, since so many people from the Heavenly Sword sect had come to save Ling Jian, it was likely that Ling Jian's position in the Heavenly Sword sect was still very important. It was possible that her father had gotten over it and wanted to bring her back. He wasn't too interested in such matters. He quickly flew towards the island of the Radiant Dragon Empire. When Wang Xian arrived at the island, he saw Long Xiaotian leading more than 200 subordinates who were waiting at the front. "Brother Wang Xian." Long Xiaotian was excited when he saw Wang Xian flying over. He quickly went up to him. "Are we setting off now?" Wang Xian nodded at him and asked directly. "Why?" "If Brother Wang Xian has something to do, I can wait a little longer," Long Xiaotian said with a smile. "If there's nothing else, we can set off any time." Wang Xian shook his head and looked at the group of subordinates behind him. He realized that there were dozens more than the previous time. TSK, there are more and more experts under you," he said with a smile. This is all thanks to Brother Wang Xian. In that case, let's set off now." Long Xiaotian patted Wang Xian's shoulder and said in a familiar manner. "Where are we going?" Wang Xian asked directly. "The training ground." Wang Xian was slightly stunned as the news about the training ground of the Bloodstream sect appeared in his mind. The training ground of the Bloodstream sect was another well-preserved ancient ruins of the Bloodstream sect apart from the Heaven's Pride stage. As the name implied, the training ground was the training ground for the Bloodstream sect's disciples in the past. Similar to the Heaven's Pride stage, as a training ground for disciples, it was bound to be a place with relatively weaker strength. The stipulated age was also below 50 years old. It was said that in the original training ground of the Bloodstream sect, the strongest fierce beast was a half-step void interpretation realm. However, after thousands of years, no one had entered the training ground for a period of time. This caused the fierce beasts to flood in. In fact, because of the crossbreeding between the fierce beasts, an even higher bloodline fierce beast was unexpectedly born. Currently, in the training ground, there were all kinds of void interpretation level ferocious beasts. Most importantly, there were demonic beasts there. The training ground was not like the prodigy stage, which was divided into two places, humans and demonic beasts. There was only one training ground. Demonic beasts were generally stronger than humans. If it was not for the fact that there were more humans, they would not be their match at all. In addition, in the training ground, one could obtain spiritual liquid and blood essence. In the training ground, there was a spirit storage pool and a blood refinement pool. If one placed the spiritual herbs in the spirit storage pool, they would be able to condense spiritual liquid. If one placed the carcasses of the beasts in the blood refinement pool, they would be able to obtain blood essence. I have already sent people to find the target in the training ground. When the time comes, I will bring people to trap it. The matter of taming it will be up to Brother Wang Xian. Long Xiaotian said to Wang Xian. "It's all right. Just leave it to me when the time comes. Wang Xian nodded his head faintly and patted his shoulder. Ha, good brother. Let's go. Long Xiaotian shouted loudly. A group of more than 200 people flew directly towards the center of the cemetery. Ha! However, after flying for a few thousand meters, Long Xiaotian raised his eyebrows slightly and looked ahead. Wang Xian looked over and realized that the person in front of him looked familiar. Second brother, where are you guys going? The 4 young men in front of him flew over. These 4 young men looked similar to Long Xiaotian. Among them, there was the 8th prince who was killed by Wang Xian. The other one was a young man whom Wang Xian defeated on the Heaven's Pride stage yesterday. Chapter 1256, Supreme Geniuses. There were more than 100 princes in the Light Dragon dynasty, but only 7 or 8 were qualified to compete for the position of crown prince. The second prince Long Xiaotian was one, the first prince Long Xiaochen, the 8th prince Long Xiaoyun, the 16th prince, the 22nd prince, the 36th prince, the 42nd prince, and the 47th prince. The 8 princes were the most outstanding princes in the Light Dragon dynasty, and each of them could be called geniuses in the outside world. The first few princes had reached the half-step void interpretation realm, and their strength was unparalleled. Long Xiaotian looked at the 4 princes in front of him, and his eyes revealed a trace of seriousness. Big brother, 16th brother, 22nd brother, 36th brother. Looking at the 4 young men flying in front of him, he nodded lightly. Second brother, where are you going with so many people? A blue-robed young man swept his gaze over the people beside Long Xiaotian. A faint smile appeared on his face as he asked once again. The training ground. Big brother, and a few younger brothers. I didn't expect that you guys would actually mix together. Long Xiaotian's face revealed a faint smile as he looked at them and said. Second brother, you're currently in the limelight. You've already surpassed all of us by a head. Even 8th brother was forced by you to head to the Origin Light Dragon Pool in search of an even stronger strength. We naturally have to unite together. Long Xiaochen, who was standing in the middle, revealed a trace of a cold smile on his face as he spoke with a somewhat ugly expression. After Long Xiaotian obtained a group of fierce beast mounts, his strength was much higher than the other princes. In addition, some time ago, all of the 8th prince's subordinates had been killed by his friends. After that, Long Xiaotian obtained dozens of powerful and talented people who came to seek refuge with him. This made Long Xiaotian's strength soar like the sun in the sky, almost double the strength of the other princes. 8th brother went to the Origin Light Dragon Pond. Long Xiaotian's expression changed slightly, and a trace of shock flashed in his eyes. That's not the case. Even when father sent him a message, he didn't accept it. But second brother, the position of crown prince may not necessarily be yours. Long Xiaochen revealed a faint sneer on his face. If it wasn't for me, no one would have the qualifications to do so. Long Xiaotian replied confidently. Is this your friend? Very good, very good. The expressions of the 4 princes turned cold. They looked at Wang Xian and asked coldly. Wang Xian looked at the 4 of them who were looking at him. A faint smile appeared on his face. This was especially so for the young man who spoke. Long Xiaochen. If he remembered correctly, he was ranked 10th on the Heaven's Pride roll. When he challenged him back then, he admitted defeat immediately. However, Long Xiaochen didn't know that the Wang Xian he was looking at was the Heaven's Pride roll that made him surrender. This is my brother. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave first. Long Xiaotian smiled. He patted the head of the black shadow leopard and walked straight ahead. His subordinates followed behind him and flew towards the depths of the tomb of the demi-human. Humph. Seeing Long Xiaotian leave, the faces of Long Xiaochen and the rest darkened. Their eyes flickered as they stared at their departing figures. Big brother, we have to join hands and kick second brother out as soon as possible. Otherwise. The eyes of the 22nd prince flickered as he spoke. Call out 42 and 47 and discuss with them. Long Xiaoqian said with a gloomy face. Facing such a powerful Long Xiaotian, they could only join hands. Brother Wang Xian, I'm really sorry to have involved you in the fight for the throne. As he flew towards the central area of the demi-human graveyard, Long Xiaotian looked at Wang Xian and said apologetically. It's all right. The battle for the throne of the Guanglong dynasty isn't too dangerous. Wang Xian smiled and shook his head nonchalantly. The battle for the throne of the Guanglong dynasty was still far from being comparable to the battle for the throne of the ancient princes on earth. The power that the princes could use, the second level of the Dingtian Dongshu, was almost negligible to him. Now, my brothers are going to join forces to deal with me. Brother Wang Xian, you have to be careful. I think they will also deal with you. Long Xiaotian had a serious expression on his face. What I didn't expect was that my eighth brother went to the Light Dragon Origin Pool. Ha! What kind of place is the origin of the Light Dragon Pool? Wang Xian asked doubtfully. The origin of the Light Dragon Pool is a place where the ancestors of our Long family rose to prominence. It is a bottomless space filled with danger. Anyone who enters it would almost certainly die. However, if they are lucky, they might be able to obtain a heaven-defying treasure. What I didn't expect was that my eighth brother actually went all out. Long Xiaotian frowned, he looked at Wang Xian and said, the one who spoke to my brothers just now is my big brother. He is currently ranked 8th on the Heaven's Pride ranking. He is the strongest among us princes. He has recruited many elite subordinates through the title of Heaven's Pride. In a few days, he will probably participate in the Supreme Prodigy tournament of the Heaven's Pride Bridge and fight with the demons. If he can defeat his opponent, his reputation will definitely soar. He is the strongest force other than me. Long Xiaotian introduced the situation of the princes to Wang Xian one by one, reminding him to be more careful. Wang Xian nodded his head silently at the side. He knew that Long Xiaotian was telling him to be more careful. After all, the princes could not commit suicide. They could indeed kill their subordinates. When they talked about the first prince, they also talked about the Heaven's Pride Bridge. Regarding the Heaven's Pride Bridge in 10 days' time, Wang Xian would participate on time. He had to obtain the title of the Supreme Prodigy. If he obtained the title of Supreme Genius, he would be able to obtain the reward of the Heaven's Pride stage's spiritual liquid infusion. In the past, there were very few humans who had obtained the title of Supreme Genius. The sect leader of the Heavenly Sword sect was one of them. Back then, with his powerful sword techniques and his strength at the first level of the see-through realm, he obtained the title of Supreme Genius. After obtaining the title of Supreme Genius, his strength rose to the second level of the see-through realm immediately after he walked out of the Supreme Platform. One of the main reasons was because of the infusion of spiritual liquid. Other than the sect master of the Heavenly Sword sect, no one else had obtained the title of Supreme Prodigy for more than 100 years. Demonic beasts, to humans, had enormous talent. That was, they did not need to comprehend divine abilities or dharma forms. As long as they had sufficient resources, they could quickly increase their strength. Every time there was a supreme genius, there would be an existence at the insightful void tier among the demonic beasts. Humans were no match for them at all. However, Wang Xian was determined to get this supreme genius. Even if he encountered a demonic beast at the second level of the insightful void tier, Wang Xian would be able to defeat it or even kill it. The group of people flew into the depths of the graveyard of the human and demonic beasts. After more than an hour, a dilapidated building complex appeared in their sight. In this building complex, there was only one building that was well preserved. The building occupied an area of 1,000 meters. Inside the building, there was an entrance with a radius of about 500 meters. Around the entrance, there were thousands of people entering and exiting from inside. Chapter 1257, Nether Deer. We've arrived. This was once the training ground of the Bloodstream sect. Now, the outer buildings have been destroyed. Only the entrance that was covered by the array formation hasn't been broken. The array formation left behind by the Bloodstream sect is very powerful. The main reason is that there used to be a spirit stone lode under the Bloodstream sect. The Bloodstream sect connected several important buildings to the spirit stone lode, increasing the power of the array formation by several times. Even if all the spirit stones in the spirit stone mine have been dug out, the foundation is still there. When they arrived at the training ground, Long Xiaotian said to Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded his head. Looking at the extremely deep entrance, he then looked at Long Xiaotian and his men. Among them, there are not many who can follow us in. Not many. There are only 43 of them. However, the ferocious beasts that Brother Wang Xian helped to subdue this time are mainly at Transcendent Level 8. Our group's strength shouldn't be a problem. Long Xiaotian said with a smile. No problem. There shouldn't be any problem with a Transcendent Level 9 beast either. Wang Xian smiled. Haha, it's all up to you, Brother Wang Xian. Long Xiaotian revealed an excited expression when he heard his words. He looked behind him and said, those who are not allowed to enter, wait for us around. The rest of you, follow me in. It's the prince. Everyone nodded and waited around the trial grounds. Over 40 people followed Long Xiaotian as they walked into the deep trial grounds. The entire trial grounds is very large. There are at least 1 million ferocious beasts in there, and there are all sorts of levels. There are even many void interpretation level beasts in the center. Everyone must be careful. Our main mission this time is the Nether Deer. After stepping into the training ground, Long Xiaotian said to everyone vigilantly. It's the second prince. The training ground on the human side was 1,000 meters deep underground. After walking along the pitch-black hole for 1,000 meters, an incomparably huge underground world appeared before them. In the past, this place was a mineral vein where the Bloodstream sect mined, but it was later transformed into a training ground. The height of the training ground could reach up to 8,000 to 9,000 meters, and there was a type of black tree growing inside. The tree was about 100 meters tall. The entire underwater forest world. In this direction was the underwater forest world, and in front of it was the seabed. Half of the training ground was at the bottom of the sea. In the pitch-black world, one could occasionally hear the roars of fierce beasts. There were many people at the entrance. For many families, sects, and dynasties, this was the training ground for their elite disciples. There were many people in the training ground, at least tens of thousands of people. Many mercenary groups would also organize people under the age of 50 to come here to hunt fierce beasts. After all, compared to the cruel Blood Flow sect's training ground, this place was relatively safe. The Blood Refinement ground was the stage for the real powerhouses. It was difficult for anyone below level 7 of the extraordinary to survive in there. The arrival of Wang Xian, Long Xiaotian and the rest did not attract much attention. In the trial ground, as all of them were cultivators below the age of 50, there were not many treasures here. Therefore, there were very few fights. Most of them were fights with demonic beasts. Brother Wang Xian, follow me. Long Xiaotian said to Wang Xian and flew straight ahead. In the training ground, they had already found their target and flew straight ahead. The entire empty ground wasn't flat. There were also holes left behind by mining. It was a complicated scene. Wang Xian sized up his surroundings. His eyes flickered with a demonic glow as he looked around. The pitch-black training ground did not pose any obstruction to him. Everything around him appeared in his mind. There were no ferocious beasts at the edge of the training ground. Occasionally, there would be a few ferocious beasts that were at the second or third level of the supernatural realm, but they did not bother with them. It's just ahead. Everyone, be careful. Surround all the hell deers. Don't let them escape. Wang Xian spoke to everyone behind him as he looked at Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded his head and stared at the spot ahead. There were many holes at the bottom of the forest. The holes were dozens of meters deep. There was a 4-meter-long black ferocious beast lying in each hole. They had 2 horns that were 5 meters in size. It was as though they had huge weapons growing on their heads. Not only were there ferocious beasts lying on the ground around the trees in the cave entrance, but there were also ferocious beasts lying on the ground. The nether deer is a ferocious beast of level 8 transcendence. There are a few hybrid nether deer with the strength of level 9 transcendence. There are about 60 of them. With our strength, we can definitely deal with them. Long Xiaotian looked at Wang Xian and said softly. No problem. It's very easy to tame a ferocious beast of level 8 or 9 transcendence. Wang Xian waved his hand. With his current strength, even a level 2 void interpretation beast would have a chance to tame it. Alright, the 2 of us will go straight for it. Long Xiaotian nodded his head heavily and waved his hand at the people around him. More than 40 subordinates immediately spread out and surrounded the entire area. Long Xiaotian's strength was at the half-step void interpretation realm. He was much stronger than his subordinates. The 2 of them would not be in any danger if they were to invade head-on. Long Xiaotian held a long sword that was emitting light in his hand and looked at Wang Xian. The 2 of them did not bother to hide anything and charged forward. You. When Wang Xian and Long Xiaotian charged forward aggressively, the hell deer that was lying around the trees immediately stood up. Their blood-red eyes stared at the 2 of them coldly. Attack! Long Xiaotian moved his body. The sharp sword in his hand drew out a ray of light and attacked the hell deer directly. You. The hell deer let out a hurried sound when someone invaded. The surrounding hell deer stood up immediately and growled with a murderous aura. In the caves, the hell deer walked out one by one and shook their huge horns. Just knock them down. Wang Xian was the first to strike. A golden ray of light swept toward the hell deers. He didn't use all his strength. He didn't even have 1/10 of his strength. Under Wang Xian's control, the golden ray of light easily hit the hell deers who were at supernatural level 8. At least 20 hell deers fell to the ground after a golden ray of light. Long Xiaotian's mouth twitched when he saw this scene. He looked at the 5 or 6 nether deers who were bleeding from the slashes and said, Brother Wang Xian, I'll leave them to you. Huh. Wang Xian smiled and moved forward. You. An even more powerful roar was heard. The voice was filled with anger. Wang Xian looked over. The 5 blood-red nether deers lowered their heads. Streams of black energy with a hint of blood-red darkness shot directly at Wang Xian. He waved his arm gently and the attacks of the 5 supernatural level 9 deer collapsed. He waved his arm again and the golden light landed on the 5 deer, causing them to fall to the ground in pain. Chapter 1258, Heaven's Pride Wang Shou. More than 40 young men who were surrounding to prevent the hell deer from escaping widened their eyes when they saw this scene. They stared at Wang Xian in shock. Among these more than 40 people, many of them were newly recruited subordinates of Long Xiaotian. They had never witnessed Wang Xian's strength before. When they saw how he defeated about 60 hell deer so easily, even 5 of the hell deer that were at transcendent level 9 could not withstand a single blow from him, their faces were filled with shock. His strength was too strong. Even the Heaven's Favorites on the Heaven's Favorites list were only a so-so, right? Wang Xian walked to the center of the nether deers. With a wave of his arm, he gathered all the nether deers in the center. A surge of divine dragon's might was transmitted directly into their minds. Buzz! All the nether deers who were lying on the ground trembled. Their eyes revealed a look of horror. Following that, Wang Xian transmitted a wave of goodwill into their minds. You. The deer let out a trembling cry. Wang Xian waved his arm, and his supernatural ability landed on their bodies. The injuries in their bodies were recovering rapidly. You. The 5 deer that were at transcendent level 9 stood up slowly. They knelt down slowly with their front hooves and bowed toward Wang Xian. A faint smile appeared on his face. With a wave of his arm, drops of blood with his aura entered their minds. Fuck. This is so powerful. Oh my god, no wonder His Highness the Second Prince is so respectful towards this young master. What a terrifying beast-taming ability. Hee, what do you think? Young Master Wang Xian has 2 ferocious beasts of the first level of the see-through void. How can his strength be compared to ours? Around them, more than 40 young men widened their eyes when they saw Wang Xian's heaven-defying ability. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Haha, thank you, Brother Wang Xian. Thank you so much, Brother Wang Xian. Long Xiaotian trembled slightly when he saw this scene. His face was filled with excitement. These were beasts at the lowest level of the supernatural realm, level 8. There were also 5 beasts at level 9 of the supernatural realm. This was equivalent to him having more than 60 powerful subordinates. Are we going to tame more beasts? Wang Xian asked Long Xiaotian with a smile. Yes, but Brother Wang Xian, this is the only location that my subordinates have found. If we are going to tame more beasts, we need to continue searching. Long Xiaotian said to Wang Xian in embarrassment. More than 60 such powerful mounts were worth at least tens of billions of middle-grade spirit stones. Furthermore, such mounts were not something that one could buy with spirit stones. It's all right. We have only been here for a few hours. Wang Xian shook his head and said with a smile. All right, but we have to bring these nether deer back first. Long Xiaotian nodded and looked at Wang Xian. Brother Wang Xian, with your strength, you should be able to enter the top 3 of the prodigy roll. Wang Xian smiled and shook his head. Ren Xingchen and Ling Jian are both very strong. That nameless sword demon is even stronger. Indeed. That nameless sword demon's strength is too terrifying. Qian Yi, who was at the insightful void level, was killed by him casually. Furthermore, he was very young. If only I had such strong strength. Long Xiaotian sighed slightly. He did not associate the nameless sword demon with Wang Xian. Furthermore, he knew that Wang Xian had yet to reach the insightful void level. In his opinion, Wang Xian's strength was almost comparable to an insightful emptiness realm expert. However, he was still far from matching up to the nameless sword demon. Wang Xian smiled at the side and searched around the lair of the nether deer. He found more than 50 drops of spiritual liquid and 2 spiritual herbs of extraordinary 8th level. Following that, the group flew towards the exit with a group of nether deer following behind. After handing the nether deer to his subordinates outside, Long Xiaotian looked at Wang Xian and the group walked towards the trial grounds again. This is too brutal. The demonic beast in the training ground is too terrifying. Our team of more than 100 people has lost more than 70 people. Damn it, damn it. How could that demonic beast be so terrifying? A half-step void interpretation expert was killed with a single claw. Oh my god, the training ground is too dangerous now. I heard that thousands of people have died in the mouths of the demonic beasts in the past 2 days. Damn it, there are void interpretation experts among them. They are not people we can deal with. Not only that, I also heard those demonic beasts call a demonic beast the Heaven's Pride King. That Heaven's Pride King's aura is at the profound void level. It's much stronger than the aura of an ordinary profound void level expert. If it wasn't for my quick escape, I would have died long ago. Just as they entered the entrance, a group of more than 40 people with tattered clothes walked out. They were all discussing in fear. I thought that this year's supreme prodigy might be the nameless sword demon. Now, it seems that the demonic beast is still as terrifying as before. That demonic beast, the Heaven's Pride King, shouldn't be a match for the nameless sword demon. The sword demon's destructive power is too terrifying. It's hard to say. I feel that the demonic beast's aura is very powerful. It's not something that a first-level void interpretation demonic beast can release. I could sense it from a few kilometers away. The frightened voice continued to come from the front, causing Long Xiaotian to frown slightly. Hey, you guys are still going in? Are you looking for death? Our team heard the roar of the demonic beast from a distance of 50 kilometers away. It's too dangerous. Wang Xian, Long Xiaotian and the rest didn't stop. A small team of people who just came out saw them enter and reminded them. Is it really that dangerous? Long Xiaotian's expression changed. What do you think? The king of the demonic beasts. When the Bridge of Heaven's Pride was opened, didn't the demonic beasts obtain the title of the supreme king of the demonic beasts? Weren't they all at the insightful void tier? A young man glanced at Long Xiaotian. He didn't recognize him as the prince of the Radiant Dragon Empire and said coldly. Long Xiaotian revealed a hint of contemplation on his face. He looked at Wang Xian and said, Brother Wang Xian, let's wait before we enter. Sure. Wang Xian nodded. He did not force himself. The situation inside was unclear, so there was no need to enter. Then let's tame the hell deer for your men first, he said to Long Xiaotian. All right. Long Xiaotian nodded and turned around to return. Although the appearance of the demonic beasts had interrupted his plan, his life was more important. It was not worth the risk for some mounts. As long as Wang Xian was around, there was no rush. The group of people did not leave. Instead, they went to the side. Wang Xian helped Long Xiaotian's underlings tame the hell deer. However, what surprised Wang Xian, Long Xiaotian, and the rest was that more and more people came out of the training ground. Many of them were heavily injured. Some of them were even carrying their companions' corpses with a horrified expression on their faces. Time passed slowly. In just 5 hours, more than 10,000 people had gathered in the training ground. It seems that the situation inside is a little critical. Fortunately, we came out earlier. Long Xiaotian looked inside and slightly frowned. Chapter 1259, Descent Technique. The changes in the training grounds attracted the attention of the entire human-demon graveyard. The importance of the training grounds, as well as the number of participants, was many times greater than the Heaven's Pride stage. For some youths below the age of 50, the best training grounds and the places where they killed fierce beasts were the training grounds. However, the training grounds were being ravaged by demonic beasts. It could be said to be a great humiliation to the humans. FUCK, the demon beasts inside are wantonly killing us humans. Those who haven't come out yet are probably killed by the demon beasts. It's a demon beast at the insightful void level. It's the King of Heaven beast, the strongest expert among the younger generation of the demon beast clan. If we want to deal with it, the only way is for US human geniuses to appear. The strength of our batch of geniuses is extremely terrifying. If the Nameless Sword Demon leads a group of geniuses, they will definitely be able to contend against the demon beasts inside. Damn the Heaven's favorites King Beast. It actually announced that it would block the entrance of our trial ground. This is simply a blatant humiliation to us. The Mercenary Association has already issued a mission, a 5-star diamond mission. Kill the Heaven's favorites King Beast and you will receive 100,000 spirit liquid. At the entrance of the trial ground, the number of people gradually increased from the initial 10,000 to 70,000 to 80,000. All of them were young men and mercenary groups. The demon beasts wreaking havoc in the trial ground was a huge humiliation to the humans. The mercenary group would issue a mission to kill the King Beast of Heaven's Pride. As long as they killed it, they would receive 100,000 spirit liquid. The reward of 100,000 spirit liquid was definitely a huge fortune. Even the powerful factions were extremely tempted. However, it was definitely not that easy to kill a demonic beast, at least at the first level of the see-through realm in the training ground. Right now, the most popular claim was that the Nameless Sword Demon had made his move and entered the training ground to kill it. However, after more than 10 hours, the Nameless Sword Demon did not appear. The rest of the people did not dare to enter the training ground in fear. Killing the demonic beast King Beast can get me 100,000 spiritual liquid. It's a pity that I can't do it with my strength. Long Xiaotian stood in Wang Xian's shadow and shook his head slightly. My luck is really bad. Brother Wang Xian, I'm going back now. I might have to trouble you again in the near future. It's no trouble. You guys can go back first. I still have some matters to attend to. Wang Xian shook his head and said to him. All right, take care of your safety. Long Xiaotian nodded his head. Right now, his priority was to compete for the position of Crown Prince. He didn't want to get involved in anything else. Even if it was the Heaven's Pride stage or the trial grounds, he wouldn't waste any time. Long Xiaotian led his men and left. Wang Xian's eyes were sparkling as he stared at the entrance of the trial grounds. 100,000 spiritual liquid and 70 million dragon crystals. Wang Xian revealed a faint smile as he slowly walked towards the entrance of the trial grounds. Make way, make way. At this moment, a voice was suddenly heard, causing everyone in the training ground to be slightly stunned. It's the people from the Bloody Flow Empire. The people from the Bloody Flow Empire are here. Could it be that they are going to make a move? The people from the Bloody Flow Empire are making a move. I knew it. There will definitely be a big faction making a move. Get rid of that Demon King beast. Get rid of that damn guy. How dare he block the entrance of our training ground? When everyone turned around, they saw a group of people dressed in blood-red clothes with a huge imperial character written on their chests. Everyone around them looked excited as they cheered loudly. The Blood Flow Empire had made their move. The strongest faction in the Blood Flow region. Everyone, make way for an empty space. A middle-aged man swept his gaze across everyone around him and his voice resounded in their ears. Everyone who was at the entrance of the training ground hurriedly retreated. Wang Xian looked over and revealed an astonished expression. More than a dozen people from the Blood Flow Empire came over. The leader was a middle-aged man. Beside him were two princes, Tang Feng and Tang Yuan, who were on the prodigy roll. Behind them, there were all young men who were at Transcendent Level 9. There were a total of around 15 of them. From this, one could see the foundation of the Bloodshed Empire. That seems to be Tang Lingwen, a powerhouse at the peak of the first level of the See-Through realm. Why is he here too? A curious voice of a young man came from the side. Wang Xian looked at the middle-aged man in the middle. The middle-aged man was obviously over 50 years old, or even over 100 years old. He was not allowed to enter the training ground. The group arrived at the entrance of the training grounds. Under the curious gazes of the surrounding people, everyone held a formation compass in their hands. It's a formation. Tang Feng and the others from the Blood Flow Empire want to use a formation to deal with that Demon King beast. Other than powerful weapons, there's only a formation. And look, the energy contained within that formation is a killing formation of the second rank of the Insightful Void Realm. It can definitely kill a demon beast of the first rank of the Insightful Void Realm. That's great. How dare you block the entrance of our human training grounds, wait for your death. The surrounding tens of thousands of people saw the array formation in the hands of the youths from the Blood Flow Empire, and their faces revealed an excited expression. And what is that great profound void tier expert going to do? Right at this moment, everyone's gazes turned towards the profound void tier expert standing at the very front, and their faces revealed an astonished expression. They saw that in front of that profound void martial expert, there were bottles of spiritual liquid. The spiritual liquid contained at least tens of thousands of spiritual liquid. Besides that spiritual liquid, there were also drops of essence blood. The rich essence blood was exuding vigorous vitality. The value of that essence blood was not the slightest bit inferior to that of the spiritual liquid. Everyone looked over with curious faces. The demon race's demon beasts wreaked havoc and killed many of our human race's lives. This time, our Blood Flow Empire will use the descending technique to forcefully break the age restriction of the training ground and kill the demon race's king beast. Moreover, we will make them pay back tenfold. As the middle-aged insightful emptiness realm expert spoke, the spiritual liquid and blood essence in front of him emitted a dazzling luster. With a move of his palm, a special white ball appeared in his hand. The spiritual liquid and blood essence entered the white ball. Following that, the white ball slowly entered his body. Success! When Tang Feng and Tang Yuan saw this scene, a smile appeared on his face. Unfortunately, the higher the level of the descending technique, the greater the restriction. It can only allow an insightful emptiness realm first-level expert to descend. Otherwise, it's enough for me to go over. I'll take advantage of this opportunity to give the Demon Beast clan a heavy blow. HMPH, you actually dare to block the entrance of our training grounds. You're simply courting death. I'll kill a puny Demon Beast King within 10 moves. The middle-aged profound void martial artist absorbed the white ball. His eyes revealed a cold expression as he spoke in a deep voice. Hiss! When the surrounding people heard the middle-aged insightful emptiness realm expert's words, all of them had shocked expressions on their faces. The descending technique? It can actually allow people over the age of 50 to enter the training grounds. This is too terrifying. Using at least 10,000 drops of spirit liquid and 10,000 drops of blood essence, Senior Tang Lingwen has descended. It can absolutely cause the entire Demon Beast clan to tremble. What bullshit Demon King Beast? Die, Chapter 1260, The Unrivaled King Beast of Heaven. The King Beast of the Demon Race, King Beast of Heaven, was the title for the strongest demon beast under the age of 50. At the same time, it was also the title for the 2 demon beast kings in the human-demon graveyard. One was the Demon Lin King Beast race, and the other was the Blood Barbarian Demon Beast King race. These 2 demon beast races were the most powerful existences in the human-demon graveyard. Their bloodlines had reached the 6th level of the Profound Void tier. There had never been a demon beast slaughtering the young generation of humans in the training grounds before, and they had even blocked the entrance to the training grounds. This was simply the greatest humiliation to the humans. The Hiring Association had directly taken out a reward of 100,000 spirit liquid, making the Blood Flow Empire want to make a move. They did not hesitate to consume a large amount of spirit liquid and blood essence to use the descending technique. They even took out a 2nd-level void interpretation killing formation. This was also the ultimate killing formation that a half-step void interpretation expert could control. Follow me in and clean up all the demonic beasts in the training grounds. The Blood Flow Empire's void interpretation expert, Tang Lingwen, revealed a proud expression. His gaze looked towards the entrance of the training grounds, and his eyes flickered with a luster. The so-called King Beast of the Demon Race, the chosen King Beast, in his opinion, was nothing more than this. His strength was the most powerful existence in the Blood Flow Empire's Cave Rank 1. Moreover, in order to obtain even greater rewards this time, he wore a powerful set of equipment. He was confident that he could kill a demon beast of the Profound Void tier within 10 moves. Uncle 13, let's go. Tang Feng, Tang Yuan, and the others also revealed confident expressions on their faces. Let's go. Tang Lingwen nodded and directly walked into the trial grounds. Wang. After walking to the entrance of the trial grounds, Tang Lingwen's body wasn't obstructed by the array formation and directly entered. If we really enter, with Senior's strength, wouldn't he be invincible in the trial grounds? Absolutely invincible. This time, that group of damnable demonic beasts will have to pay a heavy price. It's best if Senior Tang Lingwen can head directly to the entrance of the Demonic Beasts clan. Kill all the demonic beasts that step into the training ground. Behind them, everyone was excited when they saw Tang Lingwen really entering the training ground. Let's go, let's follow him in. The group of people walked in. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment before following them in. There were at least tens of thousands of people who followed them in. Little bastard, come here and face your death. When Wang Xian had just passed through the 1,000-meter passage, a majestic roar came from the front. Wang Xian moved his body and flew forward. When he looked over, a look of astonishment appeared in his eyes. In the sky in front of him, there was a 7 to 8 meter tall demonic beast that looked like a horse. Its entire body was covered in blood-red scales. It had 2 huge curved horns and a tail that was burning with flames. Its body exuded a powerful aura. The entire demonic beast looked extremely domineering. There were a few other demonic beasts that looked exactly the same around this demonic beast. However, they were about twice as small as it. Under Wang Xian's astonished gaze, the demonic beast slowly stood up. The blood-red scales on its body twisted and claws grew out one by one. It looked similar to a human. However, its body was still 7 to 8 meters in size. Its cold eyes were staring at the area in front of it. In front of the entrance of the training ground, Tang Lingwen was floating proudly in the sky. Tang Feng and the rest followed behind him. Your lifespan is obviously over 50 years old. How did you enter this place? The gigantic demonic Lin spoke in human language and stared at Tang Lingwen with flickering eyes. Ha, beast, the reason I came to the training ground is to slaughter you, this reckless beast. Very soon, the training ground will become a nightmare for your demonic beast clan. Tang Lingwen laughed loudly as he looked down at the demonic Lin in front of him. His aura slowly spread out as a blood-red long blade appeared in his hand. Cunning humans, you actually used a secret technique to enter the training ground. Damn it! Damn it! Behind them, more than 10 demonic beasts coldly stared at Tang Lingwen and the tens of thousands of humans behind him. Ha, the ones who deserve to die are you beasts. Senior, kill them and avenge us humans. Kill these damn beasts. Behind them, a group of humans looked at the dozen demonic beasts in front of them and roared furiously. Beast, I will definitely kill you within 10 moves. Tang Lingwen was worried that the group of demonic beasts would escape. His body moved, and his blood-red longsword directly slashed towards the insightful void-level demonic Lin. Kill me within 10 moves. The demonic Lin King beast sensed the dark attribute blade light that was attacking it, and a trace of disdain flashed in its eyes. It waved its arm, and a terrifying flame directly met the blade light. Boom! The dark blade ray collided with the terrifying flames, emitting an intense explosion. You little bastard can actually block my attack? Not bad, not bad. Tang Lingwen saw that his blade ray had been blocked, and a trace of astonishment appeared on his face. However, he did not take it to heart, and a trace of a cold smile appeared on his face. Take another one of my moves. Bloodthirsty wolf soul. He let out a low roar, and his blood-red long blade shook. A 100-meter long black wolf opened its huge mouth and attacked the demonic Lin King beast. Bloodthirsty wolf soul, Tang Lingwen's divine ability attack. Roar roar. The demonic Lin King beast opened its huge bloody mouth and let out a loud roar. A flaming demonic beast that looked exactly like it directly attacked the 100-meter long bloodthirsty wolf soul. Boom! The two terrifying attacks collided once again. What? However, what shocked Tang Lingwen was that the bloodthirsty wolf soul actually slowly dissipated under the attack of the demonic beast's flames. The demonic beast's flames still had half of its power left and were still attacking him. Good, good. I didn't expect that a beast like you still had some strength. Tang Lingwen's expression changed slightly. He waved the long saber in his hand and directly split the demonic beast in front of him. He roared with a gloomy face. Ha, damn human, didn't you say you wanted to kill me in 10 moves? The demonic Lin King beast's eyes revealed a mocking expression as it roared loudly. Hiss, this demonic Lin King beast's strength is so strong. It can actually block Senior Tang Lingwen's attack. Such powerful strength. The tens of thousands of people at the back watched Tang Lingwen and the demonic beasts battle with shocked expressions on their faces. Humph, beast, today, you must die. Attack! Tang Lingwen heard the voice from the back and felt greatly embarrassed. He roared angrily, chaotic blade slash. Array formation, activate. At this time, Tang Feng's voice also sounded. The 10 or so young men around him moved their arms. The second-level void interpretation killing array instantly enveloped the 10 or so demonic beasts. Die! Tang Feng and the others revealed excited expressions as they roared loudly. From today onwards, the training grounds will be your demonic beast clan's nightmare. Because, I've descended. Tang Lingwen howled wildly, and terrifying dark energy churned, descending like a demon king. Chapter 1261, Unrivaled Heaven's Pride King Beast. A domineering aura emanated from Tang Lingwen's body, and his voice resounded throughout the sky above the trial ground. Wang! After he finished speaking, the level 2 void interpretation formation behind him instantly covered an area of 10 kilometers. The blood-colored killing formation space emitted a heart-palpitating ripple. Killing, all the humans were also enveloped. What a powerful killing array, as expected of a rank 2 void interpretation array. It's too powerful, a rank 1 void interpretation expert must die. This demonic Lin King beast is doomed. Arrogant, let you be arrogant. Peel off its skin, let it know the consequences of killing us humans. The 10,000 people behind saw the powerful array and revealed excited expressions. This beast is doomed. Tang Feng, Tang Yuan, and the others who were holding the array looked excited when they saw more than a dozen demonic beasts being enveloped. However, at this moment, the demonic Lin King beast also smiled, and its smile was full of cunning. I've revealed all my trump cards. I can have a good meal now. The demonic Lin King beast's sinister voice suddenly rang out, causing all the humans to be slightly stunned. Beast, die! Tang Lingwen saw the demonic Lin King beast's sinister appearance and was slightly astonished. He suddenly had a bad premonition in his heart. However, he quickly threw this premonition aside and brandished the blood-colored broadsword in his hand in front of him. Streams of 1,000-meter-long black saber rays covered the demonic Lin King beast. Attack! Tang Feng, Tang Yuan, and the others also shouted. They controlled the formation and attacked at the same time. Within a 10-kilometer radius, sharp black longswords appeared out of thin air. The longswords were densely packed. There were at least 1 million of them in the entire space. Kill! Kill! The sounds of killing rang out. 1,000-meter-long sword light and densely packed black longswords covered the area in front of them. More than 10 demonic beasts were completely covered by the terrifying attack, and even their figures couldn't be seen. Die! Facing such an attack, no matter how strong you are, you must die. Beast, die! All the humans revealed excited expressions. Roar! Suddenly, a terrifying howl shook everyone's eardrums, and everyone's faces trembled. Boom! A terrifying flame suddenly rose up from where the attack had covered. In the sky, there were many black long swords and streaks of blade light. Under the terrifying flames, they actually quickly melted. The smiles on everyone's faces froze, their pupils slowly dilated, filled with disbelief. Foolish humans, wanting to kill my demonic soul is simply wishful thinking. Today, I'll let you all know that my demon soul is your nightmare. Die, you bunch of fools! The voice of the demon soul king beast sounded, and the monstrous flames covered an area of 2,000 meters. The small black sword within the array quickly disappeared. Within the dark blood-colored array, this demon Lin King beast was like a flame monarch from hell. What? How is this possible? Tang Lingwen felt the terrifying power of the demonic soul and the flames that caused the array to tremble, and his face was filled with shock. A bunch of stupid things. Do you think I'm at the first level of the profound void tier? Kiki. A terrifying voice sounded again, and the demonic soul returned to its horse form. Its forehooves stepped in the air, carrying terrifying flames as it directly attacked Tang Lingwen. What? It's not at the first level of the void interpretation stage, could it be? Tang Lingwen's expression suddenly turned deathly pale, and a look of disbelief appeared on his face. No, no. This is impossible. Tang Feng and Tang Yuan, who held the array formation in their hands, also had a great change in expression. The humans behind them were even more shocked. Not at the first level of the void interpretation stage. Could it be? The second level of the void interpretation stage? Beast, don't even think about lying to me, Dharma idol, dark demon blade. Tang Lingwen clenched his teeth and roared. His body was like an abyss, and terrifying darkness surged out. The darkness condensed into a 1,000-meter-wide demon blade. Attack! Attack! Tang Feng and Tang Yuan also hurriedly shouted. They controlled the power of the array and attacked the demon's soul. Kiki, a group of ants, a group of ants. The demon's soul that was rushing over swung its tail, and the flames on its body turned into an even larger demon's soul itself. Roar! It roared loudly, and its front hooves leapt up, directly biting towards the 1,000-meter large dark demon blade. Bang bang bang! The incomparably powerful dark demon beast, Tang Lingwen's strongest attack, actually collapsed at a terrifying speed under the attack of the demon's soul. No! Tang Lingwen was shocked. His face was filled with disbelief as he shouted loudly. Pang pang pang! Tang Feng, Tang Yuan, and the others' foreheads were instantly filled with cold sweat. The black longswords hadn't even landed on his body when they were directly melted by the flames. It was very difficult to kill a level 2 profound void martial expert with a level 2 profound void martial formation. At most, it could only deal with a level 1 profound void martial expert. Facing such a terrifying demon's soul, it was completely unable to cause any harm to it. Especially when it released its Dharma idol. Go and die, a reckless human, he he he. The demon's soul's gaze locked onto Tang Lingwen and directly charged towards him. It opened its largest mouth and bit towards him. Not good. Feeling the destructive attack from the demon's soul, Tang Lingwen's eyes revealed a panicked expression. At this moment, he didn't have the confidence and domineering aura from before. There was only fear. The current king beast of the demon beast clan was actually a cave level 2. This was simply shocking. Pang, pang, pang. He hurriedly raised the long saber in his hand to block the demon's soul's attack. However, the terrifying flames caused the surrounding dark energy to be burned, and his arms trembled. A level 1 void interpretation expert was completely unable to resist against a level 2 void interpretation expert. Ah! Tang Lingwen's eyes widened, and despair appeared in his eyes. A bloody mouth directly bit onto his body. Pang! The terrifying power directly swallowed it into its mouth. Roar, delicious fresh blood! The demon's soul excitedly roared, and an excited expression appeared in its eyes. It slowly looked towards the humans in front of it and licked its tongue. What? How is this possible? How is this possible? Senior Tang Lingwen. No, no. Quickly run, quickly run. All the humans who were watching this scene revealed a terrified expression as they cried out in terror. Run, run. Tang Feng and Tang Yuan, the two princes, saw that Tang Lingwen was easily killed and their hair blew up. Without the slightest hesitation, they immediately fled towards the exit. Kiki, with just you ants, you still want to escape? The demon soul's cold voice resounded in everyone's ears. The figure that was emitting a terrifying might directly charged over. Explode! When Tang Feng and Tang Yuan saw the demon's soul charging over, they immediately threw away the array compass in their hands, causing it to erupt with an instant power as it attacked the demon's soul. Chapter 1262, Heaven's Pride King vs. Demon Soul King Beast. Boom! 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 Run, everyone, run! Oh my god, this Demon Lin King Beast is a terrifying existence at Profound Void Tier 2, everyone, run! Don't block the way, get out of my way, get out of my way! The sound of the array exploding rang out, along with chaotic and terrified cries. The second-level Void Interpretation formation, at the cost of being damaged, launched its final attack at the demon's soul of the second-level Void Interpretation. Roar, damn it, damn the formation. The demon's soul saw the last hundreds of thousands of black longswords attacking it by self-destructing, and it immediately stopped moving. The killing formation of the second-level Void Interpretation was, after all, the killing formation of the second-level Void Interpretation. Even a demon beast of the second rank of the insightful Void tier could not completely ignore it. Its body shook, and flame scales rose up one after another, forming a defense around it without any blind spots. Countless black swords fell on it, but they could not cause any damage to it. And in these few short seconds, they fought for a chance of survival for all the humans. Everyone rushed towards the exit frantically. Get out of the way! Get out of the way! Wang Xian stood in the void and looked at the demon's soul with a little surprise. It was the king beast of the current generation of the demon beast race. However, at this moment, a young man who was rushing over in fear pulled out his weapon and attacked Wang Xian directly. He wanted to escape for his life and escape as soon as possible. Wang Xian frowned slightly when he saw the weapon that was charging at him. His eyes were cold. He moved his body and dodged to the side. Roar! Awe! At this moment, a roar was heard. A terrifying flame attacked the humans at the back. A scream was heard instantly. Wang Xian looked over. The formation had already dissipated. The furious demon's soul released a terrifying flame. Hundreds of people were instantly incinerated by the flames. The screams made the humans who were running away even more terrified. Wang Xian saw them pick up their weapons and attack the people who were blocking their way. Scram! All of you, fucking scram! Who told you to follow us? Tang Feng and Tang Yuan's foreheads were covered in cold sweat as they shouted loudly towards the front. They charged towards the people blocking their way without any scruples and towards the exit. With their strength, the people around them could not withstand it at all. Wang Xian looked over. In just a few seconds, there were over 1,000 people who died at the hands of their own kind. He shook his head slowly and looked towards the demon's soul that was engulfed in flames. Demon's soul was the name of this demonic Lin demon beast. Just like humans, they had their own name and civilization. The people around them fled at a very fast speed. Tens of thousands of people swarmed into the exit. Fortunately, the exit was relatively spacious and could accommodate 600 to 800 people. Damn it, don't run away. When the demonic soul saw that almost all the humans had fled, he revealed a furious expression. A huge flame was spewed towards the exit. Seeing the last few thousand people, Wang Xian frowned slightly. With a move of his arm, a mask appeared on his face. He didn't want to expose himself. The intelligence of the demon beast race was not inferior to that of humans. If he were to expose himself, it was very likely that he would attract the attacks of the demon beast race. He wouldn't reveal his true appearance easily unless he had absolute strength. He waved his arm and a black ray of light swept over under the heaven-defying pearl to block the attack of the demon's soul. There's still an ant left. Roar, die. The demon's soul stared at Wang Xian with his cold eyes. With a slight movement of his tail, a fire whip swept towards Wang Xian. The blazing fire whip caused the air to be filled with a layer of mist. Wang Xian smiled lightly and a cold expression appeared in his eyes. He waved his arm and unleashed the extreme ice and fire explosion. Boom! The extreme ice and fire explosion landed on the fire whip. The fire whip collapsed instantly and the energy from the extreme ice and fire explosion continued to attack forward. What? Another insightful void martial artist? Demon Soul's expression changed slightly as he clawed at the extreme ice and fire explosion. Boom! Sensing the energy from above, his expression changed slightly as he revealed a serious expression. Roar roar, cunning humans! I didn't expect two of you to descend. The demon soul's eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Wang Xian. He, if you are willing to be my mount, I can spare your life. When Wang Xian saw that the demon's soul treated him as a human who had entered this place through a special method, a faint smile appeared on his face. His body moved and he floated in the air. He sized up the demon's soul with a smile on his face. Now that his strength had increased, Ling Zilin was no longer qualified to be his mount. This demon's soul looked extremely domineering, and it had a 6th-level void interpretation bloodline. If it was to be his mount, it would be a good choice. Kiki, arrogant human, let me be your mount. You are delusional, become my food. A hint of anger flashed across his eyes. He opened his mouth and a terrifying flame shot towards the sky. Flames descended from the sky like meteorites and smashed towards Wang Xian. The terrifying attack covered an area of 2 kilometers. The King of Heaven's favorites from the demonic beasts? Since that's the case, let's have a taste of it. A faint smile appeared on Wang Xian's face as the 3 spirits' armor appeared around him. With a move of his palm, the black demon-free sword appeared in his hand. The King of Heaven's favorites from the human race, the head of Heaven's favorites, versus the King of Heaven's favorites from the demon race. However, none of the humans saw this scene. At this moment, when all the humans rushed out of the training grounds, everyone had a look of survival on their faces. I came out alive, I came out alive. It's too terrifying, the demon race's genius king beast is too terrifying. Oh my god, a terrifying existence at the 2nd level of the void interpretation realm, Tang Lingwen was easily killed. The killing formation at the 2nd level of the void interpretation realm has no effect on him, it's too terrifying. Our 2nd brother didn't come out from inside, 2nd brother, 2nd brother. The tens of thousands of people who had just rushed out roared loudly. What had happened just now was like hell. They were filled with strong confidence, wanting to watch the people of the Blood Flow Empire kill that damned beast. In the end, no one had expected that beast to actually possess the terrifying strength of a 2nd-level Void Interpretation Realm expert. Even the Void Interpretation Realm expert who had paid a huge price to use the descending technique to enter the training ground had been easily killed. What's going on? What happened? Those who did not follow them outside looked at the people who had rushed out in shock. A level 2 insightful emptiness realm demonic beast, a genius king beast of the demonic beast clan. It is a level 2 insightful emptiness realm existence. It easily killed Senior Tang Lingwen and killed more than 1,000 of us with a single flame. A young man said loudly. Everyone's bodies trembled, and their faces were filled with shock. Chapter 1263, Prodigy King vs Demon Soul King Beast. In front of the training ground, all the humans were shocked. A level 2 insightful void tier demon beast under the age of 50, what kind of concept was this? This was completely out of the human race. Since ancient times, in the human demon graveyard, the demon beasts under the age of 50 had reached level 2 insightful void tier, and this demon beast was definitely the first. No wonder, a demon beast at the 2nd level of the insightful void tier could easily kill a peak stage insightful void tier expert who used a secret technique. The 2nd level of the insightful void tier, it's already very rare for us humans to have a 1st level of the insightful void tier. It only appears once every 100 years, and then there's a 2nd level of the insightful void tier among the demon beasts. It's too terrifying. I originally thought that the Nameless Sword Demon would be able to obtain the Supreme Prodigy this year and spread the might of us humans. I didn't expect the demon race to be even more terrifying. Yeah, I was still thinking that the Nameless Sword Demon would be able to kill the Supreme Prodigy King Beast. Now it seems. Everyone's faces revealed bitter expressions. Everyone knew the Nameless Sword Demon's strength. He was definitely at the peak of the 1st level of the Insight Void tier. However, no one believed that the Nameless Sword Demon possessed the strength of the 2nd level of the Insight Void tier. That was because the nameless sword demon had taken a long time to kill 2 experts at the first rank of the Void Interpretation Realm in front of the Sword Mansion. If he was at the second rank of the Void Interpretation Realm, he could easily kill a first rank of the Void Interpretation Realm. Therefore, everyone was certain that the nameless sword demon had the strength of the first rank of the Void Interpretation Realm. Even if he was at the peak of the first rank of the Void Interpretation Realm, he was not at the strength of a second rank of the Void Interpretation Realm demon beast. Sigh, looks like this year's supreme prodigy is still at the level of demonic beasts. A young man shook his head helplessly. Big brother, what? What should we do now? Tang Yuan looked at Tang Feng beside him and asked with an embarrassed expression. Report to father. Who, the losses are so great. His expression was also extremely embarrassed. This time, he took out so much spiritual liquid and blood essence, as well as the second-level profound void tier killing array. Originally, he wanted to kill that demonic beast and obtain the reward of 100,000 spiritual liquid from the Mercenary Association. In addition, they would kill some fierce beasts and demonic beasts in the training ground to obtain more resources. This was a profitable business for the Blood Flow Empire, but the result was out of everyone's expectations. The Heaven's Pride King Beast was actually an existence of the second rank of the Profound Void tier. Regarding this, the Blood Flow Empire had no way to deal with it. Let's go. The Blood Flow Empire's Tang Feng and the others walked into the distance with an unsightly expression. They suffered heavy losses. Outside the trial ground, everyone was discussing the powerful demonic beast with unsightly expressions. No one dared to enter. In fact, in the next few days, no one dared to enter the trial ground. And while everyone thought that the nameless sword demon was no match for that powerful demonic beast, what they didn't know was that there was a huge battle happening inside the trial ground. The owner of the huge battle was the nameless sword demon that they were talking about. Star Explosion. Wang Xian moved his body and unleashed a terrifying combination of metal, earth, and fire attributes towards the demonic soul. Demon Flame Churn. The demonic soul's gaze was ice cold. The terrifying flames were directed towards the star explosion. What? However, when its supernatural power collided with Wang Xian's attack, the result of the battle between it and Tang Lingwen was completely different. The demonic flame was directly shattered by the power of the star explosion. The terrifying aftershock continued to rush towards it. You are also a powerhouse at the second level of the see-through void tier. You despicable human. You actually entered this place in a special direction. Damn it, damn it. Do you think that I can't kill you just like that? The demon's soul revealed a look of surprise. He moved his body and the flames on his body condensed into sharp scales. He charged directly at Wang Xian. HMPH, if you don't become my mount today, I can only kill you. Wang Xian's eyes revealed a cold expression. As he watched the demon soul that was like a volcano charging at him, the demon-free sword in his hand began to tremble. Spirit Poison. The demon-free sword contained a terrifying amount of energy. He stabbed directly at the demon soul that was 7 to 8 meters in size. Despicable human, go to hell. The demon's soul raised its claws. The fiery red scales caused its sharp claws to become 7 to 8 meters in size as it clawed at Wang Xian. Hee. A cold look flashed across Wang Xian's eyes as he stabbed the demon-free sword directly. The combination of spiritual poison, water, fire, and wood was the only combat skill that Wang Xian could use to defend against an attack with a strong defense. Spiritual poison could penetrate through a strong defense and strike the enemy's body directly. It would form a fire poison in the enemy's body. Bang! The moment the demon-free sword collided with the claws of the demon's soul, the spiritual poison exploded instantly. Ah! A painful cry sounded. The demon soul's expression changed drastically, and it hurriedly waved its front hooves. Damn it, damn it! Its front hooves were slightly black, and the intense pain stimulated its soul. If it wasn't for the fact that it was a fire attribute demon beast, the power of the spirit poison could have even crippled its front hooves. Even so, it was still slightly injured. Humph, I've said it. Either you become my mount or you die. Wang Xian's eyes revealed a cold expression. His entire body trembled slightly as an even more terrifying attack gathered. Golden fire cleansing. He waved the demon-free sword in his hand forward. A three-elemental divine ability attacked the demonic soul directly. What? How can your attack be so strong? The demon's soul felt this terrifying light, and its expression changed drastically. It immediately opened its huge mouth. Demon Flame Shield. With a loud roar, the demon flame shield directly collided with the golden flames. Bang! 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 However, at the moment of collision, the demon flame shield was directly shattered. Its expression changed drastically. Damn it, damn it, damn it! Seeing this situation, the demon's soul roared in exasperation, and its body hurriedly dodged into the distance. What? The demon's soul king is no match for that human. That is a human expert. He used a special method to enter the training ground. They broke the rules and deserve to die. Our demon's soul king is only 49 years old. This human might have cultivated for hundreds of years. Oh no, we should run too, run. Behind them, more than 10 demon soul clan's demon beasts had terrified expressions on their faces as they hurriedly fled into the distance. Boom! Hiss! Damn, despicable human, you human youths aren't my match. Using such despicable methods to deal with me, damn old thing. The demon soul king beast hurriedly dodged the golden fire cleansing attack, but the terrifying divine ability still struck the position of its buttocks. The near-destructive attack caused its eyes to reveal fear. The opponent was already so powerful even before he had released his Dharma idol. Once he released his Dharma idol, he would definitely not be a match for him. The king beast of the demonic soul was somewhat indignant and angry. The young generation of the human race was not a match for it, yet they used such a method. They were indeed despicable humans. However, when Wang Xian heard its words, a smile appeared on his face. Chapter 1264. The demon's soul beast was trembling in fear. Am I an old man? Did I descend here through the technique of descending? Wang Xian smiled when he heard the demon soul's words. He moved his body and attacked the demon's soul directly. Don't even think about escaping today. As he spoke, he waved the long sword in his hand. The energy of the three attributes of metal, wood, and earth vibrated. The huge attack and the thorny field went straight for the demon's soul. Despicable, despicable. When the demon's soul saw the densely packed bramble appear within a radius of 2 kilometers and cover it, its heart was ablaze. Without any hesitation, it hurriedly fled into the distance. Whoosh! 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 However, the densely packed brambles were like terrifying tree demons, every single one of them filled with sharp thorns. Once it was entangled by these thorns, it was definitely not as simple as being bound. It would be pierced through by the sharp thorns. Demon flame burning the sky. The demon's soul looked at the terrifying thorns. The flames on its body rose and it directly burned towards the thorn domain. It did not stop and continued to fly forward. At this moment, the demon's soul's expression was extremely ugly. It had just killed an old human who had used a special method to descend to the training ground. It had never thought that there would be such a human. Despicable, too despicable. Can you escape? At this moment, a cold voice came from behind. The demon's soul's heart skipped a beat, and it suddenly felt an ocean appear beneath it, covering an area of 2 kilometers around it. The seawater was like a demonic claw that extended from the ground, clawing towards its body. This caused its speed to decrease immediately. Why does this human have so many tricks up his sleeves? A look of fear appeared in the demon's soul's eyes. It opened its huge mouth and spat out balls of terrifying flames. The flames landed on the thorns and caused them to burn slowly. Golden Spirit Tree Demon. At this moment, Wang Xian chased after the demon's soul. His body moved once again and the Golden Spirit Tree Demon was unleashed. The Golden Spirit Tree Demon ability had 3 attributes. It was similar to the summoning ability of the Wood World. In an instant, a tree demon that was emitting golden light condensed from the sky. The tree demon was about 100 meters tall and looked like a metal monster. Spirit Enchantment. Wang Xian didn't hesitate and unleashed the Spirit Enchantment ability once again. The moment the enchantment landed on the Golden Spirit Tree Demon, the entire tree seemed to come alive. It grabbed the thorns that covered a radius of 2 kilometers and threw them at the demon's soul. What the fuck is this monster? When the demon's soul saw this scene, it could not help but curse loudly. Its eyes were filled with fear. Roar. Aspect, wings of the demon Qilin. The demon's soul roared loudly. A dark red flaming wings appeared on both sides of its body. On the wings formed by the flames, there were scales that looked as if they were real, and they looked extremely sharp. The entire flaming wings were 20 meters wide, and they gave off a terrifying aura. Wings of the demonic Lin. It waved its enormous flaming wings and slashed directly at the 100-meter-wide Golden Spirit Tree Demon. Pang pang pang. The terrifying aspect demon Lin's wings collided with the Golden Spirit Tree Demon, resulting in a terrifying collision. The brambles in the bramble domain were instantly incinerated by the fire. The scales on them landed on the Golden Spirit Tree Demon's body, creating a crack that was dozens of meters wide. Flee! The demon's soul saw that even its strongest attack did not destroy the opponent's divine ability in an instant, causing it to be even more alarmed. This was a battle on a completely different level. Buzz! Its entire wing trembled violently and let out a piercing sound. The Dharma Idol demon Lin's wings were used to escape, increasing its speed by several times. Hee, what a coward! Wang Xian revealed a look of disdain. His body moved and he quickly chased after the demon's soul. He would definitely not let this fellow escape. Even if the mission reward from the Mercenary Association was 100,000 spiritual liquid, he would still leave the demon's soul behind, not to mention taking it as his mount. Flame-piercing gold. The demon-free sword in Wang Xian's hand attacked the demon's soul that was trying its best to escape. The gold spirit tree demon that was chasing behind was also waving its golden branches and attacking it. Ah! The demon's soul dodged the attack of the gold spirit tree demon. The flame-piercing gold attack landed on its body and instantly tore a long wound on its body. It let out a miserable cry. Gritting its teeth, it continued to flee into the distance. After casting its Dharma idol, its speed was very fast. Soon, the golden spirit tree demon was left behind. Even Wang Xian had to give chase with all his might. Oh my god, the demon's soul king is in big trouble. Let's find a place to hide and quickly hide. That human is too strong. Let's escape. Behind them, more than 10 demon beasts of the Demon Lin clan looked at this scene with fear on their faces. They quickly fled in another direction. Gold-splitting void. Flame of the fire dragon. Wang Xian, who was following closely behind, attacked the demon's soul one after another. Facing the powerful attacks one after another, the demon's soul's face turned black. From time to time, it would let out a roar. It did not try to block them, because when it used its aspect, its speed was the fastest. Once it did not use its aspect energy to completely exhaust itself and dodge the human's attack, with the human's attack power, it would definitely die in its hands. Numerous wounds appeared on the Demon Lin's body. Even though it was 7 to 8 meters in size, with its powerful recovery ability, it was still dripping with blood. The scales on his body fell to the ground one by one. Roar! Fiery! The flames on the demon's soul's body rose again and its speed increased abruptly. What a fast speed! Wang Xian frowned slightly. Looking at the demon's soul that was about 2,000 meters away from him, his body trembled and he immediately increased his speed. The entire training ground was extremely huge. The demon's soul was escaping desperately in front. Wang Xian was chasing after them from behind. In the deep training ground, it caused a huge commotion. When the groups of ferocious beasts saw the terrifying aura of the two of them, they spread out in all directions in fear. Have we reached the direction of the demon beast area? At this moment, Wang Xian looked ahead. In front of him was the bottom of the sea. There was a formation in the middle of the dark red seawater that prevented the seawater from entering. Escape! The blood on the demon's soul dripped downwards continuously. When it saw that the area in front of it was filled with demon beasts, a look of survival appeared in its eyes. It dashed forward once again. The entire demon Lin wings began to collapse slowly and burst out the last of its energy. The wings of the demon Qilin had exhausted all its energy in the few minutes it was escaping. Pop! When Wang Xian entered the sea of the land of trials, he instantly felt that he had entered a different space. If that was the deep abyss just now, this was the bloody abyss. A faint bloody smell entered his mind. Chapter 1265, 5 Elemental Spirit Pearl. When Wang Xian entered this space, his speed did not slow down at all. On the contrary, it was much faster. The demon Lin race had fire elemental energy. In the water, their speed was much slower than before. Hehe, you still want to escape? When Wang Xian saw that his Dharma idol had disappeared and that his demon soul's speed had decreased drastically, a mocking look appeared on his face. He waved his arm and unleashed his combined battle skill, Brilliant Sun, at the demon's soul once again. His speed, how can he still be so fast? When the demon's soul saw Wang Xian charging in, he gritted his teeth and looked at the holes at the bottom of the sea. Then, he quickly dived in. Boom! 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 The power of the star explosion exploded behind him. The terrifying energy emitted a muffled sound at the bottom of the sea. The demon soul that was struck by the power of the star explosion was once again inflicted with terrifying wounds on its body. It entered a cave entrance. As it was more familiar with this area, it began to flee frantically. Do you think you can escape after entering the cave in trance? A hint of mockery appeared on Wang Xian's face. His eyes flickered with a demonic luster. Looking at the shadow in the cave entrance below, he waved the demon-free sword in his hand toward the bottom of the sea. The gold-piercing sword. The demon's soul, who was fleeing desperately at the entrance of the cave, instantly sensed a powerful attack coming from above. Its expression changed drastically. How the fuck is this possible? How did he know that I was in this direction? The demon's soul's expression changed drastically. It opened its huge mouth and its sharp teeth went straight for the gold-piercing sword. The physical body of a demon beast was dozens of times stronger than that of an ordinary human. In a situation where humans did not use weapons, humans were at a disadvantage when they were at the same level. Whoosh! 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 However, just as it stopped to block one of the attacks, a rain of even sharper sword attacks came at it. The expression of the demon's soul changed drastically. It gritted its teeth and took 2 attacks head-on. If I were to use the Earth's mantis of 4 attributes at this moment, would I turn the demon's soul inside into dust? Wang Xian looked at the demon's soul that was struggling crazily in the cave. He hesitated for a moment but decided not to use it. If the demon's soul was really killed by him in one strike and turned into dust, he wouldn't be able to receive the reward of 100,000 spiritual liquid from the mercenary group. Since that's the case, let's turn into a divine dragon. Wang Xian didn't want to waste any more time with the demon's soul. Boom! However, just as Wang Xian was about to turn into a divine dragon, a terrifying flame was emitted from the cave. Wang Xian was slightly shocked. He quickly looked over. What is this? Suddenly, his eyes revealed a fiery glow as he stared intently at the area below. 5 fire spirit pearls that contained terrifying flames were hovering around the demon's soul. Waves of majestic flames entered its body. 5 spirit pearls. Furthermore, they have 5 attributes of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. What a strong fire energy! Each of them is at least at the second level of the void interpretation stage. Furthermore, there are 5 of them. Wang Xian's eyes were burning with passion. 5 spiritual pearls, and they were at least at the second level of the void interpretation stage. These 5 spiritual pearls were different from individual spiritual pearls. When the 5 spiritual pearls were linked together, it was obvious that they were a treasure formed from 5 spiritual pearls. The 5 elements are mutually reinforcing. The energy of the other 4 spiritual pearls is used to enhance the power of the fire spiritual pearl. This is very obvious for the use of the 5 elemental spiritual pearls. Even so, the energy of the 5 elemental spiritual pearls can also increase the strength of the demon's soul by a lot. Wang Xian's eyes were burning with passion. 5 elements spirit pearl. Furthermore, it was a 5 elements spirit pearl of the second level of the void interpretation stage. Wang Xian currently had 5 dragon pearls. The highest level of the dragon pearl was only at the 8th level of the extraordinary stage. To him, it was completely useless. However, if he could obtain these 5 elements spirit pearls, after a long period of nurturing, he would be able to obtain 5 dragon pearls of the second level of the void interpretation stage. The dragon pearl was the true divine weapon of the divine dragon. It could greatly increase the strength of the divine dragon. Damn it, it actually forced me to reveal this treasure. The fire soul's expression was extremely unsightly at this moment. If it wasn't at the critical moment of life and death, it would absolutely not take out this treasure. It was originally an ordinary demonic beast of the Demon Lin clan, but because of a great opportunity, it allowed him to enter the main hall of the Bloodstream sect and obtain this treasure. Using this treasure to cultivate, its cultivation speed was 5 times faster than before. It knew how precious this treasure was. Even if the emperor of the Demon Qilin clan were to see it, he would snatch it away. Therefore, it didn't dare to expose itself. This time, if it wasn't for that despicable human, it would still be hiding. This treasure formed from the 5 elemental spirit beads and not only has a powerful supporting energy, but it also has a terrifying defensive ability. Wang Xian was flying in the sky. Looking at the fire soul below, he attacked again. The attacks were densely packed. This time, he didn't unleash his full strength. An attack followed by an attack. This won't do. That human can sense me from above. The demon's soul gritted its teeth. The 5 elemental spiritual beads on its body emitted terrifying flames and floated above its head. It dashed out forcefully from the hole in the bottom of the sea and flew into the distance. Let me tell you, don't even think about escaping from me. Wang Xian immediately chased after it. Various combinations of combat techniques were launched at his body. Roar! Roar! I, the demon's soul, swear that I will tear you into pieces in the future and make you my food. The 5 elemental spirit pearl above his head provided him with an endless stream of flames. His speed had doubled. Wang Xian chased after him and flew at high speed. What's going on? What happened? Oh my god, that's the Demon Soul King beast. There's a human behind it. That human is actually chasing after the Demon Soul King. What did I see? Oh my god. Why is the Demon Soul King being chased by humans? You have to know that the Demon Soul King is an invincible young man in the Demon Beast clan. Is that a heaven's pride of the humans? Impossible, how could there be such a young powerhouse among the humans? The demon's soul ran for its life while Wang Xian chased after it. Along the way, some of the demon beasts who had gone through training saw their Demon Soul King beast, a heaven's pride king beast, the strongest powerhouse among the younger generation. They were shocked to see that they were being chased by a human. This was the Demon Soul King. In the Demon Beast clan, it was known as the most outstanding demon beast in 1,000 years. Now, he was being chased by a human. The exit is in front, the exit is in front. The demon soul's entire body was filled with terrifying scars. Looking at the 5,000 meters ahead, it was the exit. A strong sense of vitality shot out from his eyes. The exit is in front. I have to leave him behind. Even if he turns into dust, as long as I can obtain the 5-elemental spirit pearl. Wang Xian saw that the exit of the demonic beast training ground was in front of him. His eyes slowly revealed killing intent. Demon soul, you forced me to do this. Go and die, Earth's death. Wang Xian shouted softly. 4 types of terrifying energy emitted from his body. The energy interweaved and covered the area in front of him. Earth's death, a 4-elemental supernatural ability. Wang Xian's strongest attack. Chapter 1266, Wreaked Havoc. The Death of the Earth. When Wang Xian unleashed his 4 elemental attacks, a deathly silent aura within a radius of 2 kilometers suddenly became lively. The entire area seemed to be wailing, silent, and buried. A terrifying energy was formed within a radius of 2 kilometers. This energy was filled with an aura of destruction. When Wang Xian sensed this terrifying power, he was also shocked by the terror of this supernatural power. This was the first time he had used the Earth's death. This power could easily kill any powerhouse at level 2 of the see-through realm. Even level 3 of the see-through realm had to be taken seriously. What? What kind of power is this? The demon soul, who was in front of him, had a look of hope. His eyes were filled with panic. The threat of death instantly enveloped its entire being. That is. It hurriedly looked behind it, and its eyes instantly widened. Around that despicable human, a special energy shook the entire space. The seawater around him actually slowly disappeared under this energy. This terrifying energy was spreading towards it at a terrifying speed. No, no. What kind of attack is this? It was filled with fear as it tried its best to fly forward. The exit was right in front of its eyes. However, death was even closer to it. 5-elemental spirit pearl, go. A pained expression appeared on its face as it gritted its teeth. The 5-elemental spirit pearl above its head flew towards Wang Xian from above. The 5-elemental spirit pearl spun rapidly and emitted an extremely bright flame radiance. The bright flame collided with the energy from the battle of the earth. The flame radiance lit up a space filled with destruction. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the demon's soul rushed towards the exit without any reluctance. 5-elemental spirit pearl. At this moment, Wang Xian didn't bother about the demon's soul that had escaped. Instead, he flew towards the 5-elemental spirit pearl with an excited expression. Buzz! He shook his arm and grabbed the 5-elemental spirit pearl. A surge of energy of the 5 elements spread throughout his body. Huh! Looking at the spirit pearl that contained a huge amount of energy, Wang Xian couldn't help but laugh. The 5 types of spirit pearls were refined into weapons. The 5 attributes were interwoven together, and they were endless. Wang Xian waved his arm and the entire 5-elemental spirit pearl was arranged in a row. Golden, green, earthy yellow, blue, and red lights. The 5 elemental spiritual beads were divided into individuals and emitted energy waves that belonged to their own attributes. Withdraw. Wang Xian opened his mouth and the 5 elemental spiritual beads entered his stomach directly. After a period of nurturing, I will have the 5 elemental dragon beads. When I take them out to fight, it will increase my combat strength by a lot. A smile appeared on Wang Xian's face as he looked towards the exit. The figure of the demon's soul had already disappeared. Consider yourself lucky. A faint smile appeared on Wang Xian's face. He wasn't too concerned about not leaving the demon's soul behind. Compared to the 100,000 spiritual liquid, the 5 elemental spirit pearl was more precious. At this moment, a hollow area appeared around him. It was at the bottom of the sea, but there wasn't any seawater within a 2-kilometer radius. The seawater in the sky seemed to be afraid of this space and didn't dare to enter. The power of the Earth's death was so terrifying. Wang Xian's figure moved and flew into the distance. Boom! Not long after he left, a huge amount of seawater surged in from that location, producing a loud roar. Roar! Roar! Wang Xian flew less than 10 kilometers on his way back when he heard the roar of a ferocious beast from the side. He was slightly stunned as he looked down. That's a ferocious beast at the first level of the see-through realm. Looking at the black sea python that was 20 meters long, his body moved. Without any hesitation, he charged forward. There were many creatures at the see-through realm in the land of trials. The highest level among them was at the 3rd level of the see-through realm. With Wang Xian's current strength, he was an invincible existence in this space. The land of trials has spiritual liquid. Moreover, the corpses of ferocious beasts can be used to refine blood essence. I can flatten the entire land of trials. This is especially so for the area of the demonic beasts. They are all aquatic creatures. I can directly devour them. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled as he attacked the sea python that was at the first level of the see-through realm. With his strength, it was easy for him to kill a creature at the first level of the see-through realm. In less than 20 seconds, the sea python turned into a corpse. Wang Xian moved his body and transformed into a dragon, devouring it directly. Following that, he opened his dragon eyes of light and dark fire. Wang Xian continued to look in the direction of his surroundings. He did not return immediately. Instead, he started to wreak havoc in the entire training ground. If he encountered any ferocious beasts, he would devour them immediately. Among them, Wang Xian encountered quite a number of demonic beasts in the training ground. There were at least a few hundred of them. When he encountered these demonic beasts, he did not hesitate at all and killed them directly. On his body, the demonic spirit token that he obtained from the Mercenary Association was glowing. Every time he killed a demonic beast, it would glow once. While Wang Xian was wreaking havoc in the training ground of the demon race, those demonic beasts that were lucky enough to escape danger had spread the news of this place. Humans are indeed despicable and shameless. They actually used a cheating method to send powerhouses to the training grounds. Damn it, humans should be exterminated. Many of our tribesmen were killed by the humans in the training grounds. I swear that I will devour them when I see them in the future. We want revenge. We want revenge. The Heaven's Pride Bridge will open in a few days. When that time comes, we will kill the humans' Heaven's Pride and kill them. Within the demi-human race, there was a wave of anger. As for the powerful demi-humans' Heaven's Pride, they were even more furious and vowed to take revenge. Each of the powerful demi-humans' Heaven's Pride stared coldly in the direction of the humans. Their eyes were filled with a crazed killing intent. However, at this very moment, in the training grounds, the despicable human, Wang Xian, who made countless of demi-humans gnash their teeth, let out an excited laugh and devoured the second-level void interpretation beast in front of him. In the lair of this aquatic beast, there were still more than 5,000 spiritual liquid. Wang Xian began to devour crazily in the entire training ground. In just a short span of more than 10 hours, almost all the creatures in the training ground of the demonic beast region were slaughtered. In the entire region, the aquatic creatures, coupled with the gains from the spiritual liquid, allowed him to increase by a total of about 100 million dragon crystals. This was definitely a huge resource. Let's go to the human side. There are no aquatic creatures in the human side. The gains might not even reach 1/3 of what we have here. However, this is not a small amount. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled as he passed through the layer of formation and entered the human's trial area. With his invincible strength, he continued to kill and wreak havoc. Chapter 1267, On the Heaven's Pride Bridge. Wang Xian stayed in the training ground for 2 whole days. Name, Wang Xian. Race, 5 elements divine dragon, able to transform into a human. Level, extraordinary level 9. Dragon crystal, 26117640/1000000000000. Supernatural ability, ruling the water tribe below one's level. Devouring creatures to extract dragon crystals. Control of the 5 elements. Cultivation method, divine dragon transformation. Avatar, fire dragon's flame, gold splits the void, wood realm descends, water danger storm city, fury of the earth, soul absorbing, spirit attaching, light and dark fire dragon eyes, light and dark void, light and dark shadowless, earth dragon shield, light and dark, divine dragon fire tail, water spirit, fire territory, water and wood healing, gold spirit tree demon, gold fire cleansing, war of the earth. Dragon Palace, level 3. Dragon Palace members, 3,376. I have over 260 million dragon crystals. I still need 700 million more to level up. Wang Xian looked at his attributes and smiled. He had made the right decision to come to the demi-human graveyard this time. His strength had increased by dozens of times compared to before. Go back. Wang Xian moved and flew directly to the exit of the training ground. In 2 days, he had swept through the entire training ground. In the entire training ground, only a few weak ferocious beasts, Wang Xian, did not make a move. The rest had already been slaughtered. It could be said that the entire training ground would not be able to return to its previous state without 100 years. Wang Xian did not feel guilty about this at all. He did it by relying on his own strength, not by descending. When he came out of the trial grounds, he looked around with a stunned expression. There was no one around the trial grounds. It seems that the experts from the Blood Flow Empire have been killed, causing everyone to temporarily give up on the trial grounds. Wang Xian thought to himself. With a move of his body, he flew towards the outer area of the human-demon graveyard. When he returned to his residence, he immediately continued to study the combination skills of the 4 attributes. He moved his arm and 5 spirit pearls appeared in front of him. Using the energy of the 5 elemental spirit pearls, he began to practice. With the help of the 5 elemental spirit pearls, it was much easier to study the combination of the 4 attributes than before. The combination of the 4 attributes can only be metal, wood, water, fire, earth, metal, wood, fire, earth, water, fire, and earth at most. The battle of the earth is a combination of the 4 attributes of wood, water, fire, and earth. Wang Xian stayed in the room and immersed himself in the research of the attributes. Buzz! Buzz! After an unknown period of time, a voice came from the communication stone plate at the side. He heaved a sigh of relief and stood up. He picked up the communication stone plate at the side and took a look. He saw that it was a message from Long Xiaotian. It was not a big deal. Instead, he invited him to have a drink. Let's go out and relax. It seems like I have never rested since I came to the tomb of the demi-human. Wang Xian revealed a faint smile. He looked at the time and realized that 5 days had passed. During these 5 days, Wang Xian did not manage to come up with 4 types of combined attribute attacks. However, it was not as if he had gained nothing during these 5 days. His control and understanding of attributes had deepened. Wang Xian had a hunch that it would not be long before he could comprehend 4 types of combined attribute combat techniques. Walking out of the courtyard, Wang Xian looked to the side and realized that Ling Jian was not there. The people from the Heavenly Sword sect came to pick her up that day. They should be returning to the Heavenly Sword sect. Wang Xian thought to himself. His body moved and he flew towards the direction of the hiring association. Lingyun Restaurant was the largest and most famous restaurant in the graveyard of demi-humans. It was the property of the Bloodshed Empire. Brother Wang Xian, come here, come here. When Wang Xian arrived at the top floor, Long Xiaotian's warm voice was heard. He looked over and saw him sitting with 5 middle-aged young men. Wang Xian walked over with a smile. The few people beside Long Xiaotian looked at Wang Xian with curiosity in their eyes. "Brother Long Xiaotian, is this your good friend?" A chubby young man sitting opposite Long Xiaotian looked at Wang Xian with a smile and sized him up curiously. "That's right, this is my good friend." Long Xiaotian laughed out loud and waved at Wang Xian. "Brother Wang Xian, let me introduce you to a few friends. This is Manager Qian from the 3rd largest trading company in the world. These two are his assistants. This is Captain Bei of the Baiming Mercenary Group. This is Heaven's Pride Xiao Shikong." Long Xiaotian introduced them to Wang Xian one by one. "Hello, everyone." Wang Xian nodded politely. "Oh? I didn't expect that there would be such an outstanding young man like Brother Wang in such a small empire like the Dragon and Phoenix Empire." The slightly plump young man, Manager Qian, looked at Wang Xian with a smile and said, Wang Xian looked at him and was slightly stunned. "Brother Wang Xian, don't mind him. This Manager Qian's news has spread throughout the entire Luhai region. Isn't the 3rd largest trading company in the world undeserved? Their business has even reached the level of the demon beasts." Long Xiaotian saw that Wang Xian was stunned and quickly explained. Wang Xian nodded his head lightly. From Long Xiaotian's attitude, he could tell that this chubby young man's identity was not simple. However, Wang Xian didn't mind and sat beside Long Xiaotian. "Tell me, after the Bridge of Heaven's Pride opens, how many people will win the battle between the Heaven's Pride and the demon race?" "It's hard to say, but one thing is for sure. The Supreme Heaven's Pride is definitely from the demon beast race. The demon beasts in the trial grounds are simply too terrifying. Yeah, they're too strong. Currently, no one dares to take a single step into the training grounds. The Battle of the Heaven's Pride Bridge this time is not an objective one." After Wang Xian sat down, he heard discussions coming from the seats beside him. "Oh right, Brother Wang Xian, are you interested in going to the Battle of the Heaven's Pride Bridge 2 days from now? I missed the battle between the Nameless Sword Demon and Qian Yi the last time. I won't miss it this time." Long Xiaotian looked at Wang Xian and asked with a smile. "The day after tomorrow? I might not have time on the day after tomorrow. I did watch the battle between the Nameless Sword Demon and Qian Yi." Wang Xian shook his head and lied. "There's no need to watch the battle this time. The humans are definitely one-sided." Manager Qian, who was sitting opposite him, suddenly spoke. Manager Qian, do you have any news?" Long Xiaotian raised his eyebrows and asked in surprise. In the training ground, a human expert entered the training ground through a special method and killed hundreds of demonic beasts. Now, the entire demonic beast clan is extremely furious. All the Heaven's Pride demonic beasts swore to kill the human Heaven's Pride. Moreover, the demonic clan gave those Heaven's Pride demonic beasts a lot of resources in order to take revenge. Manager Qian raised his wine glass and took a sip. "In my opinion, the top 10 Heaven's favorites of the human race are no match for the top 10 Heaven's favorites of the monster race." As he spoke, he glanced at Xiao Shikong beside him with slight disdain in his eyes. "I advise this brother not to participate, or he might die there." "What?" Xiao Shikong's pupils constricted, and a shocked expression appeared on his face. Even Long Xiaotian was slightly surprised. You're tuning into the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.